closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Tuesday, another night of Live at the Bike, straight from Los Angeles, California. The first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name's Bart Anson. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. Another 5-5, 300 to 500 game. This is the game that we usually do on Tuesdays, Dave. And you had just commented before in the booth that a lot of these guys, as we've seen them develop, we're actually playing in the 500 game.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys actually step up. This is a 3 to 5 game. It's a restricted buy-in. The game's been going for over an hour. Got some chips on the table, so...
Yeah, a lot of these guys are actually playing smaller than they normally play.
Yeah.
Now.
So let's head over to the table and let's get started with this Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday action, 5-5 blind. Seat number 1, we've got Eric. And Eric, he's one of the mentioned. He was actually playing in the 5-10 game just half hour ago. Seat number 2, we have Kelsey. And Kelsey will play every game. He'll play this game to kind of like hone his game. He'll also play up to 25-50 sometimes. Seat number 3, we've got Gus. There he is. Seat number 4, we've got BN. Apparently, new player here.
Yeah.
Seat number 5, we've got Michael. Now, Michael, fairly good player. Now, he was the player last week we saw make a huge overcall with pocket jacks.
Yeah.
After 2 players had already moved in. Kind of an odd play. Seat number 6, we've got Aaron. Seat number 7, we got Tyler. And Tyler was playing in the 5-10 game the entire day next to me, and he and I were kind of talking to each other the entire afternoon. Nice guy. Pretty good player in his own right. Seat number 8, we've got Alan.
And Alan is sitting on a set of jacks right now.
It's always nice, huh?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately for him, seat number 4's got pocket 9s, though.
Yeah.
So, well, he's going to bet into him. And seat number 9 is Kathy.
Yep.
And we talked about Kathy being primarily a stud high-low player, but kind of trying out the no-limit game.
Now, if we see the board here, I actually watched the action. Alan bet the flop, a guy called with 9s. Alan checked the turn, and he got this guy to bet into him on the river. So I think Alan has accomplished what he wanted, unless he's scared of pocket kings here.
I don't think he's scared of
He
pocket
checked
kings.
the turn, and he's going to raise the river here.
Yeah, it's not. Doesn't seem like a scared raise there. And it's a pretty easy fold if you're BN, huh? BN, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, BN. Nothing much there that he can beat. I think Alan's actually moved in here on the river.
No, I mean, the only thing he can beat is busted diamonds. I mean, is there any way Alan's got diamonds where he bet his diamond draw, took the free card, and now he thinks his opponent is weak and he's going to try to get him off it with diamonds? You know?
So, yeah, he raised the guy on the river. Remember, the flop action went, Alan bet his top set in position. The guy called. Turn came king, it went check, check. Now BN bet the river, and Alan has raised. He's not all in. I think he's raised 200. It's about a $600 pot, 200 to call. But, again, there isn't a whole lot that BN can beat there.
It was almost like a little blockish bet down the river by BN. When Alan comes over the top, obviously got to get rid of it.
You know, we've watched Alan play a lot, Dave. If you can look at that board again. Have we ever seen him make a move where he checks the turn and then raises the river on busted diamonds? I mean, I've never seen him make that play. That would be really surprising. It would be the first. Remember, this is a cash game, so, you know, there isn't an urgency to accumulate chips. I mean, that move might be a little bit profitable, but it's a rare move that you'll see a good player make, I think.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing in somebody you really know well, and you know that bet on the river by them is really a stop bet, and they are not comfortable.
Right. Say with the king on board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to bet a jack. Maybe they've got queen jack, something like that, and they're not comfortable.
You know, one of the things that Alan might have thought was the guy had a pocket pair when he check called. So if he bet on the king on the turn, it would have scared him away. So he actually made more money that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that one case, Alan obviously made as much money as he's possibly going to make.
Now, we had a raise here by Kelsey with queen jack offsuit. Kathy's going to call with ace-8 of diamonds. And seat 4 is in there with 10-8 offsuit.
Well, Kathy still's the best hand, but Kelsey was the pre-flop raiser, plus he has position. I imagine his bet here will probably take it down.
Yeah, Kelsey is going to bet here. Everybody's missed, and I'd imagine that he is going to take it down.
Welcome everybody to Live at the Bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 5 and 5 today. This is a restricted buy-in game, 3 to 500.
Yep.
But you might see some looser than normal play because you've got a couple of players in the game that will play up.
And the yellow chips are $5 chips. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of this game. You know, I spoke with Kathy after the show that she played on last week. I think it was either Tuesday or Thursday. And I said she really played well. The only mistake I saw her make a couple of times was limping in with ace rag suited, calling raises out of position. We saw her just do it there. But she assured me that she's not looking to hit an ace. She's looking to get a flush or make trips with her bottom kicker.
See, the problem is that obviously, yeah, you want trips is fine. The problem is when you flop, like in that case, she had ace-8 of diamonds, right?
Right.
Okay, you're not looking for an ace, you're looking for a flush.
Right.
Well, how often does a 3 flush come on the board?
Right.
Very, very rarely, obviously.
I mean, maybe a flush draw she's looking to play hard
Okay,
as
so
well.
if you flop a flush draw and you're out of position with a flush draw, it's more difficult to play it than if you were in position.
Now, we had a raise here by Tyler. And he's a 2+2er, Dave, is that right?
Tyler, he does know 2+2. I don't know if he actually goes on it very often.
And look at this. Tyler raised with ace-king, and Aaron is pulling the limp re-raise here with pocket fives. Lots of dead money. It was 25. Two people called after Tyler, so it was 100 in dead money, and he has limp re-raised with pocket fives. And that gets Tyler out of there with ace-king.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you don't buy the limp re-raise, but in that one case, Aaron actually limped re-raised from first position. He was under the gun, so you got to give him credit for a pretty big hand. Now, I got into a conversation with Tyler, and I started actually included you as well, and I want to include our viewers and people over at 2+2, and feel free to email us at live@thebike.com. Anyway, I was wondering here, if you raise with a hand ace-king suited, and you get a few callers, and then somebody else moves all in. Now, let's say you know nobody else is going to call, and it's going to be heads up. What kind of odds do you need to call with ace-king suited if you put your opponent on a range of hands anywhere from, say, pocket nines all the way to aces? And that was my question for you and for Tyler, and we kind of discussed it, went back and forth.
We did it kind of out mathematically. I mean, there's going to be some, twinges or tweaknesses to that equation, too, because you probably put them on aces or kings a little bit less if you hold ace-king.
Right, exactly. I mean, let's say you put him on, like, you think he probably has queens or jacks, but there's a chance he has aces, kings, tens, or nines also. How often should you call, depending on what the pot is laying you?
I want to make the math problem simple. I'll get to it at the end of this hand, because I want to see if I did it out right. Now, we had a raise here by Gus with ace-king. Michael is dominated here in the small blind with king-queen suited, but he outflops him. Now, Gus has got that gut shot to the 10 here. Gus is usually pretty good about betting in position here. And even for Michael, still might be a little bit tough to play out of position. I'd probably bet right out against Gus because he's known really to play a lot of marginal hands for raises in the cutoff.
And Michael's going to raise it up, and I really don't like this raise at all. What are you going to get called by that you can beat? If he has jacks, you're beat. If he has ace-queen, you're beat. If he has queen-jack somehow in late position, you're beat.
He's min-raised it. He's raised it 40. It was a $40 bet by Gus. So he has min-raised it here. Now, Gus doesn't really even have any type of real backdoor draw. It's not like he's got ace-king of diamonds.
All right.
Yeah.
The problem with this raise is it doesn't get any information. Now, he's going to lay this down. Basically, obviously, you're going to win the pot. But if Gus calls him, does it give you any information? Do you know if Gus has king-10?
Right.
Do you know if Gus has ace-queen? Might Gus even smooth call with a pocket jacks? Who knows? So a mini raise like that doesn't really give you anything.
Again, that math problem, I want to make it easy for people. Say the guy's got nines, tens, jacks, or queens. One of those four hands, 2/3 of the time. Or say that it's an equal. Say that he's got 2/3 of the time, nines, tens, jacks, or queens.
So he gets 6 possibilities.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
4 out of 6 times, that's one of the possibilities. The other 2/6 of the time, 1/6 he's got kings, 1/6 he has aces. What pot odds do you need to make that call? And like I said, I was doing it out as an equation.
I'd love to add in that equation as well the fact, like I said, the fact that he probably has queens or jacks more often than he has aces, kings, nines, or tens.
Right.
And the fact of the matter that once in a while he might even have ace-king suited as well. Maybe draw there.
Limped around here 4 ways.
2 pair for Eric here. Top 2.
And he checked it, Dave. He checked it.
Well, it's not a connected board. It's not a scary board at all.
BN is just going to bet on a stone-cold bluff here with 10-4.
And And I'm assuming if Eric's going to play this, do you call and bet into him, or do you just put a little raise in right now?
He calls. And Ben is going to look at the percentages there. The turn's an ace.
Yeah, and now BN is drawing dead. And he's going to bet right into him. Check call and then bet right into his opponent.
Eric's going to bet here. He's going to bet 50. Now, I have to tell you, again, with these stack sizes, the decisions are a lot easier in this game. If I have King 8 there, that ace might be slightly a scare card if I'm playing really deep against a guy out of position.
Of course, it's got to be scary. Because now suddenly your 2 pair is not the nuts. If, let's say, a 7 or a 5 or a 10, if any of those cards came out, you're probably still good.
Right.
But let's say this guy was betting with a hand like ace 8 or ace deuce. Well, he might have backed into the best hands.
And again, to play a little devil's advocate there for you, if that guy did have a king like King Jack, and Eric played it, or even a hand as good as King Queen, and Eric played it in that manner, he now bets out in the ace and the King Queen folds, whereas if he shows a little more strength on the flop with a bet or a check raise, he gets more money in the pot. A guy might have just folded King Jack there when Eric leads out on the ace, check call and lead out on the ace, right? The river actually would have been another ace, and Eric's hand would have been counterfeited. He would have played aces and kings with a garbage kicker.
Right, exactly.
$25 raise here by Dave Kelsey.
It's always strange when you get two pair on a board like that. Sometimes you just got to bet it. You got to hope somebody's got King Jack or King Queen, and then they're going to play back at you.
Raised by Queen Jack and a call by BN with Jack 9. His Jack is dominated here, and BN has flopped a straight. And Kelsey here has got overcards in the gut shot to the 9. Not a real bad flop for Queen Jack if you're heads up. Nobody has diamonds here. Kelsey's going to bet. He bets 50.
This is one of those times where if a 9 were to come somehow, talk about reverse implied odds for BN in the sense he could really get killed if a 9 comes out, thinking he's got the... Well, he doesn't have the nuts, but thinking he's got the best part of the straight.
Yeah, there are only 2 9s that aren't 9 of diamonds left, because we can see that BN has one of them in his hand. So it looks like BN's going to raise it up right now. Yeah, he is. Like the play, obviously.
Oh, definitely. With a board like that, you got to get some information right away.
Yeah.
Find out where you're at. Build a pot, and just in case Kelsey's got something like 2 pair. Who knows? Even if Kelsey's got an overpair there, you don't want, say, a 9 to come off. You don't want a Jack to come off, or a 6 to come off, or a diamond to kill your action.
Interesting email here to start the night by Jared Pondelik. He says, "Hey, Dave and Bart, how does your raise size change if there are antes in the game? Is it different for tournaments compared to cash games? Thanks for all your hard work." It's an interesting question because I've never played in a cash game with antes. Have you? No limit cash
I
game.
played one game with antes.
Yeah.
And I would imagine you've just got to realize that obviously the pot size is now bigger, so obviously your raise size has to be bigger in accordance with it.
Pocket queens here for Gus. He just limps in here up front.
You don't want to make it correct for people to take one off, to call you.
5 players.
And he does not get the limp re-raise if that's what he was going for. And we're going to see it 5 ways limped around. And look at this, overpair, and Allen's got Jack Deuce. He checks it from up front. Jack Deuce 4 with a couple of hearts. And Eric is just going to bet here with a wheel draw. The problem for Gus is if he raises, he's going to be I don't know if he's going to pot commit himself here.
And not necessarily a bad play here by Allen. I know you and I are not big fans of check raising.
Right.
But it's not a bad spot here because normally you can only bet 20 into the pot. You can't get draws out. But here, if you get a couple of bets in there and a call, now you can make it 100 and really put pressure on his draw to get out of there.
Well, Allen knows that Gus is a good player. Allen's got top and bottom, so what's going through his mind is what could have Gus have, and he's going to come back over the top here again. And I think this is a very easy lay down here for Gus now.
Yeah, you got to realize he's in the blind. He could have anything.
Yeah.
And he's screaming 2 pair or better right now. He really is.
We have this discussion so many times about playing high pocket pairs for a limp in an unraised pot. You do not want to commit a lot of chips.
Yeah. You know what Mama said.
Don't mind the raise there by Gus, but once you receive heat from a solid player from up front as a check raise, I think those queens go in the muck pretty quickly.
Of course, well, you get a bet. You raise to find out where you're at because obviously Eric could be betting his jack, very simply. You could also be betting a flush draw. You want to see where you're at. There's a good chance your queens are still good here. It's not a terribly scary board. You wouldn't put somebody who voluntarily entered the pot on Jack 4 or Jack Deuce.
I mean,
remember, Allen is in the blinds.
I mean, if I'm Gus here, this is what I'm thinking. There's no way Allen just has ace-jack because he's check-raised my raise, Dave, and he calls with queens.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's a bad call.
Turn is a 6. Well, if he had 3-5, he makes a straight here. But I don't think I put necessarily Gus on. And Allen's going to bet 200 here. And has Gus walked himself into this pot commit? I mean, it's a $200 bet. The pot now is about 600, and it's about 250 for Gus to call, or 200 for Gus to call. He's got 250 left.
Yeah, now, the funny thing is, if Gus knew what Allen had, he still doesn't have the right odds to call.
Yeah.
The problem is if you start putting Allen on a range of hands and you think that Allen might have a chance of having 2-pair minimum, and you don't know which 2-pair it is, by the way. You don't know if it's Jack-4, Jack-deuce, or 4-deuce.
Right.
You also think there's a chance Allen's got deuces or 4s. You wouldn't put him on pocket jacks.
Hey, I'm really shocked here. I mean, Gus is so overcommitted with an over-pocket pair.
And he needs a 6, a 4.
There's a 9. He does not get there. And we come back to it again. I don't want to harp on Gus. I think he was a little upset with us because we've been really critical of his game the last couple of weeks. I was really surprised that he continued on there. Remember, it was a bet and a raise, and now Allen, who we've seen play so tight since coming back onto the show the last week, has check-raised him.
Well, he's not just check-raising one player. There was a bet, a raise, and now he's check-raising.
Yeah.
That's showing a lot of strength. I mean
I'm thinking Allen's
minimum,
not even going to do that with ace-jack. That was my point.
I'm thinking minimum he's got there is 2-pair.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you can possibly put him on ace-jack, king-jack, or queen-jack. Nothing wrong with limping in with queens. There really isn't. Not in this game. But you've got to realize that if you're going to limp in there, you know, Mama said don't go broke in an unraised pot. Button moves into seat 8 now. That's Allen as he doubles through there. And he's going to raise it up here. Can't see his cards.
30 is the bet.
And he's got a 7-6 suited here. 7-6 a diamond to the button. It's an interesting raise. I don't mind that raise at all. As long as he makes it, and it's a $30 raise, is he going to continue making that raise when he has pocket queens, ace, king, so forth?
Well, Kelsey's going to call with a suited ace here out of position. Bien's in there with jack 9. Here we go to the flop.
Wow.
And
Look at
Allen
that flop
flops
for
the
Allen.
nuts.
Now, this is one of those times.
And Bien's got top
Do you
pair
know
here,
the answer here? It's kind of a rhetorical question. Would you ever check it with 6-7? I would say no, right?
I think Allen puts a bet in here, and I don't think Bien's going anywhere.
You have to bet this. One of the reasons you're betting this is because your opponents are expecting you to bet because you were the pre-flop raiser, and you have to give them a chance to check raise you. Because who knows? Maybe they've got 9-8. Maybe they've got 2-pair. Maybe they have.
And there's the check raise by jack 9, just like we predicted. There it is.
Well, you have to give them the opportunity. If you check behind them, well, suddenly their plan has gone out the window. They're hoping to check raise.
And what if a 7 or 6 comes?
Now, how do you play it here? I got to tell you, I think it's an easy, smooth call.
I don't know.
really do.
I
don't think these players now in a bigger game, I think you can raise it because you've got to build the pot up. But I think in this game here, seat 4's only got about maybe $600 left. I think you can smooth call this. He's going to bet into you. You can then put in the mini raise and still build the pot up. There's nothing you're scared of.
I might come back here and min raise back. I still don't think Bien's going anywhere. Because he does have like 600 or 700 in front of him over there in seat 4.
Yeah, I just don't see the Russian building this pot.
He's going to raise it up 200 more.
And I got to tell you, I mean, a good player should be easy lay down here for Bien.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Bien all night. I can't do this. Driving me nuts.
And let's see what Bien there is going to do. I mean, he's just got a pair of 9s.
I mean, we're going to agree to disagree here. Generally speaking, yeah, if Bien had a set or had 2-pair or better, yes, he would continue. But I think you let him off the hook. If he smooth called, you would say 10s or jacks, or even a hand here like jack 9, top pair. It's an easy laydown for Bien, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, let me play devil's advocate with you. If Bien check raises and Allen calls, and the turn now is a deuce. Now, the problem you have is if it's a 6 or a 7 comes, you might get your action killed. But if the turn is a deuce, I think Bien is still checking. Allen's going to bet, and Bien still might fold.
Really? You think he's going to check raise and then check the turn?
I think if Allen calls him, what do you think Allen's called with here on this board? What can Jack 9 be?
I just don't know that many players that check raise and then check into you. I know most players check raise and then bet right into
Now, I
again.
understand what you're saying, but his hand is so weak here. That's what we're talking
It
about.
is.
The problem with check raising with Jack 9 as opposed to leading out
Yeah.
with it.
I mean, I understand that if a 7 or a 6 come off, it's an action killer. But it's very difficult to put Allen on either a 7 or a 6 where he would have a straight. I remember he was the pre-flop raiser. At this point, you almost have to put Allen on jacks, queens, kings, or aces. You got to put Allen on an overpair. It's an easy laydown for Ben.
Give me your blind. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'll take the risk that an action killer might come off. He's going to lay it down.
And again, you know, I just think that
Turn would have been a 3 of diamonds.
yeah, maybe Allen thought that he had a big hand. And he was just trying to get all the money in. But I understand where you're coming from as well.
Well, you're only going to get called. There are only really 3 hands you're probably going to get called by. A set of 5s, a set of 9s, a set of 8s, and 9-8. There's 4 hands that you're going to get called with where the money's going to go in. If by chance the guy's got like top pair, 10-9, Jack-9, Ace-9, something like that, I want to give him a chance. Maybe he's going to throw another 150 in there on the turn. Then I can min raise to 300. At that point, the pot is now $1,000. He might actually feel inclined to call. I don't know if he can get away from it because the pot is now so much bigger and he's built it himself. One of the reasons why I love position, the power position, when you pick up those big hands in position, there are so many different ways you can play it. Now, obviously, Bart and I are sitting here and we're disagreeing on it. But the fact of the matter is, the only reason we're even disagreeing is because Allen is in position. If he's out of position, there's only one way to play it. King Jack for seat number 2. That's Kelsey.
And Bien is going to raise here with Ace Deuce offsuit.
In early position.
Kelsey's going to call him a blind, and Allen is going to call with 7-8 offsuit. I don't mind the call there by Allen at all in position against probably a deeper stack. Well,
Nothing wrong
here's
with
the inherent problem with Ace Deuce. Bien has flopped the best hand, but there's no way that he can be super aggressive with it.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. You've now raised with Ace Deuce. And you've gotten called. So it's a raised pot. If somebody has an ace, they've got you beat. We talk about Ace Deuce, Ace Rag. You're always going to win a small pot or lose a big one.
And Allen's going to call here. And I don't even know if Bien can bet anymore. And here's the problem with it.
Yeah, you wonder.
You wonder what Allen's trying to represent here. Turns a 6. He picks up a draw. Might he check the turn if it's checked to him?
Well, let me ask you this: is there a way Allen now Allen's picked up he's got a gut shot? Is he going to represent clubs if they come also? Remember, a 5 is good, a 7 is good, an 8 is good. And if a club comes, can he scare him off with a club?
And Bien bets again. He bets 120, and Allen doesn't bite. He's going to make the call again here quickly. Now, he needs some help.
Yeah. Now, will he represent a clubs if it comes? Well,
The river's a 3. And again, you wonder, Bien's got to almost think he's beat unless the guy missed clubs.
Obviously, that's the problem with raising out of position here. And Bien is pretty deep, too. I mean, he looks like he's got $600 still there.
Bien has checked, and Allen is going to bet 200 now. Allen does not think his hand is good. He's going to bet 200, and I don't think that's enough because it's an $800 pot, 200 to call. But you look at it, and it's just Bien. He can almost only beat a busted draw, which Allen is kind of on a busted draw here. And he makes the call, and the ace deuce is good. And if you're watching the game, he is going to show this hand down, Dave. Ace deuce.
And obviously, Allen shows down his 7-8 as well. You get an awful lot of information by watching, focusing on the game.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
And inherently, the problem is this. Let's look at the last 2 hands that Allen played against exactly Bien. One hand, both hands, Bien flops top pair. One time Allen's got nothing, and second pair. And the other time he flops the nuts. And the time that Allen's got him, dead to the wall, he's got the nuts, he makes about $150 on the hands. In the hand that he's behind, he loses $350.
Yeah,
So those
more than
two
that,
hands,
$400.
in those 2 hands, he's net down $200.
Yeah.
That's not good,
Yeah,
right?
for those types of situations.
Exactly. Well, that comes out all the time. Obviously the secret to winning at poker really is, and it's not a big secret, is maximize your winning hands, minimize your losing hands.
When he leaves, I still want that Steve.
Button moves over here to Eric in seat 1. Ace King here for Allen in seat 8. Ace King off suit. We always talk about that image you might play, like I'm tilting a little bit by losing the last hand, pick up a big hand here, and then raises. Makes it 35 to go.
You may not have meant to.
Now, seat 9 here, Aaron, he switched seats. He's going to make the call with queen 10 of clubs. Kelsey's going to come in from the blind with a couple of sevens.
Yeah, he's got 2 black sevens. And is BN going to call this with 8 deuce? 8 deuce of diamonds?
Yes.
Tell you a lot about the player there. And he's going to make a little real loose call there. Makes it, puts his 6 chips in there. And we're going to see this 4 ways. So the pot is now $140.
Well, king 5-8. Allen's got top pair. Is BN going to stay in there with the 8? And Allen's going to bet 100 straight. Easy laydown for Aaron and Kelsey. Not the flops you're looking for.
No, not at all. Now, BN's got second pair with backdoor diamonds.
You know, if BN stays in there, it again becomes a situation where, do you want to continue to value bet? Will you value bet? Wait a minute, what is Kelsey doing? He's going to make the call with 7.
Well, that's going to get BN out of there.
Wow.
And look, BN actually said, I guess I would have called if you didn't call. Look at that. If he don't call, I raise him. If he don't call, I raise him.
And then he shows Michael his hands.
Well, he says both because he goes, you don't have shit, and you don't have it. You know, and Allen kind of playing that image there. He shows a bluff off, and now he picks up a pretty big hand.
Turns a jack. Now, you got to start putting Kelsey maybe on a range. Would he check call with king, queen, or king, jack here? And look at this. Allen, he's going to move in. I don't know how much Kelsey has left.
There are too many hands that Kelsey could have here. I mean,
he's got about 260 left. I don't mind the push here by Allen because Kelsey only has 260 left.
I don't mind it at all. Obviously, the smaller the games you play, the more value ace-king seems to have.
Show me a card. Alan, just show him 2 cards, please. Show me a card. Put in $50 just now for you. That's a better deal, don't you think?
I don't know. I mean, again, you know, you wonder if you're going to play 7s in that hand, Dave. Would you play it as a check call? I mean, would you bet? And then probably the second worst option would be check raise. I mean, a check call with 7s. I mean, there's so many things that might come on the turn that might improve. What if Allen had ace-jack there?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Kelsey's trying to do there with 7s. You know, what do you put in the guy? Ace-queen? What if a king? Remember, he raised pre-flop. You go, okay, the guy doesn't have a pair. He's got ace-king. King comes. Okay, no, he doesn't have ace-king. He has ace-queen. Or ace-jack. I mean, are we just guessing here?
That was a good bet, that 100. It was 35, 35, 35. Yeah, but it was just good on the rainbow. You know.
I mean, he bet 100, and the pot was 140. I mean, it's not that weak of a bet.
I don't think it was weak at all.
No.
Probably about the same I bet, too. Maybe I bet 125. Maybe I bet 80. The board wasn't real scary. It was king 8, king 8, 5.
King 8-5, rainbow.
The only hand I'm scared of is 6-7, right? It's the only draw out there. I'm certainly not giving the guy the right odds to call. Pot's 140. I'm putting 100 in there. Getting less than 2.5 to 1. He's only going to get 1 card because I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet more on the turn.
Limped around here, and Gus is going to raise it out of the small blind.
And the 9 of diamonds was flashed. That's a real easy laydown for Allen. But Allen calls. I can't believe that. I really can't.
The 9 of diamonds was flashed?
The 9 of diamonds was flashed. The entire table saw that, including Allen. Gus raises out of the blind, and you call with 9-7?
Check, check on the flop. The turn's an ace.
I check it again if I'm Gus. No
Check,
need
check
to bet
again.
this.
Don't you live down in San Diego?
And the river's an ace.
You were here last week, too. I saw you on...
And now Gus is going to come out and bet.
How long ago was it?
He bets 50.
Will you show me one card? I guess I've been here for...
Allen gets away from it.
I mean, there have been times where I will easily lay down. If I have pocket 4s, pocket 9s, something like that, 9-7, and I see one of my cards I need exposed, why do I want to put money in there?
Well, you know, especially, you know, you talk about playing middle-suited connectors like 4 or 5 of diamonds, okay? If you see the 6 of diamonds, or say you had 6-4 of diamonds, and you see the 5 of diamonds exposed, your hand is garbage, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean,
let's take a look at the first chip count of the night. I mean, that's your key card, 5 of diamonds.
I don't understand. Chip count here. 5,500. Look at that. 5,555 on the table. BN's got the table covered. Allen in second place there. And these guys look like they want to go to war with each other.
Let's take a look at the differences. Again, this game's been going for... Well, it looked like BN was one of the probably one pretty big earlier on in the
And
show
so did
before
Allen.
it came
Both
on.
of them.
Yeah.
Gus down a quick grand, though. And we'll keep track of this throughout the evening.
And Kathy's got pocket aces here in seat 6, and she raises. She makes it 25 to go, and Aaron calls it that dominated ace-queen. Is he going to get involved? And it looks like Gus has got ace-9 of hearts.
And I got to tell you, unless I'm really, really deep, this hand hits the muck very quickly for me. Now, if I've got $1,500, $1,600, I'll call a $25 raise. Maybe I'll get lucky. I'll get trips. I'll get two pair.
That's like a limped pot almost.
And I'm in the button. I'm on the button.
Right.
Exactly. But with $500 there, too many things have to go right for me to win a big pot here.
And Kathy doesn't have that much left in front of her. So here we go to the flop. King, Jack 10, and Aaron's flopped a straight. That is kind of an ugly flop for aces, Dave. She does have the ace of diamonds.
It really is. You've got to start thinking of hands. Now, she's going to bet into it. Now, we talk about the ability to get away from aces, and obviously it's very difficult. But you've got to realize here, we're going to get a raise here from Aaron. Kathy's got to know this guy does not have the nut flush draw because she has the ace of diamonds in her hand. So this guy is raising you with something else. Is he raising you with ace-king? Is he raising you with king-queen? But could he have king-jack, king-10, jack-10?
Again, those are, and she just moves in. She's going to move in. I mean, with those stack sizes, I don't know, it's questionable. Maybe the guy does it with ace-king. If she's drawn to a chop here, she needs a queen to chop. River is a 3. And
obviously, running diamonds would have done it as well, but 8 of clubs killed that.
Great
one.
raise right away there by Aaron. Very connected board. Got all the money in before maybe a scare card comes off on the turn.
And in that case, I think it's a great raise.
Yep.
But let me ask you this. Let's say these players are very, very deep. And Aaron raises, right? And Kathy re-raises. There is a time there where you may say, I'm going to smooth call this. Now, against a player that's not experienced, no-limit player, I'm probably going to push right away and make her put the money in.
Right. Well, if we're deep and I raise and Kathy re-raises, I do not put her on aces. I probably, and especially if I have ace-queen, I probably think she's got kings or jacks. So if you want to play it in that manner with the smooth call to the re-raise in position on the flop, you've got to proceed with caution if the board pairs on the turn, I think.
In that case, you probably just put it in. If you think she's got a set, why not just put it in? You know, right? I mean, if she's got a set, she's not going anywhere anyway.
Well, don't you think? I mean, if she was playing deeper, do you think she'd really come over the top with aces out of position there?
Some people just they see aces and it makes them lose all rationale. They just go, I have aces. There's no way I'm not losing. I've got aces. I'm not going anywhere with it. Okay, I'm going to live and die with these aces. And you talk about it. Obviously, a board of King Jack 10 is not a great board for pocket aces.
Post here by somebody on 2+2. Tom Demain says, "Is that this supersized guy me sitting next to Alan?"
That would be hysterical, but no, that's Kelsey.
No, I think he's talking about the guy in seat 9, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I got to look at him. Aaron.
Now we had a pre-flop raise here by the button. Seat 4. He made it 15 to go. A little pot sweetener with Jack 10. Look at all the Broadway out here. I get a prediction here. Rags on the flop, Dave. Oh, there's the ace. And Michael flops top and bottom with ace 3. And he's checked it from up front. Got to tell you, that's a board I usually will bet right into if I called with ace 3, and it gets checked around. The turn's a 9. A couple of Jack 10s are now open-ended. There's 2 flush out there with spades. And now Michael is going to bet out. And if you're Gus, do you even get involved with King 9 here? Do you think that maybe a guy checked a weak ace? It wasn't a real raise, Dave.
Well, that's the problem. Anytime somebody bets in the first position, it's one of the reasons I like to steal in that position as well. Because you can represent a weak ace like you were going to check raise.
Right. You mean if the flop got checked around, you might just bet right here on the turn?
I think it's an easy lay down.
Now, Kelsey's thinking, though, he's got the Jack 10, and the pre-flop raiser, BN has the Jack 10. Yeah, and Gus does not get involved.
But BN's going to call this. And if he catches a queen or a 7, he's good.
Again, he represents spades here. Again, you wonder if people are paying attention. Go to the river. And the river's a queen, and he's got the nuts.
Yeah, no need to represent here. And look at this.
Now, Michael's going to bet 100. Now, there's a couple things that maybe BN would have played this way. Michael cannot beat a set of queens here either. Michael bet 100. Let's see what BN is going to do. I mean, would a
Now,
guy play queens this way?
Michael has, I think, $350 left.
Yeah.
The pot is how big? How big now?
The pot now is about 400.
400, and then after he calls the 100, it'll be 500.
Right.
You can actually move all in for the 350.
I think you could move all in here.
And hope your opponent has 2 pair.
Or a set, or something like that. If you sandbag.
Who cares what he's got?
You got the nuts here. Stone
Right.
cold nuts. And he's Hollywooding it up here. He really shouldn't leave money on the table. How much is he going to raise it? Making it 200 more. I just don't think Michael would have folded for an extra 150. And again, like I said, there's a couple hands Michael can't beat now. He can't beat a set of queens that the guy might have rivered here as well.
Right, a lot of hands. I mean, obviously, there are too many hands he probably can beat, though. I mean, is there any way your opponent has something like 9-8, 2 pair? Probably would have heard from him on the turn, but you never know.
It's 190 more, Dave, for about a $600 or $700 pot.
And I got to tell you, one of the reasons I don't like that bet is you got to realize your opponent either has nothing and isn't going to call you at all for even $10 more, and he's going to call, or your opponent's going to call it all in.
You mean that's why you don't like the small raise size? You mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Often somebody goes, "Why are you raising so much?" Go, if the guy is bluffing, I can raise it $30 and he's not going to call.
Right.
But if he has something, well, I can raise it a full $350 and he's going to call me anyway.
And BN almost takes down a $1,000 pot there.
Yeah. And you wonder if a spade had come off, would BN represent?
That's twice you sucked people out.
That's a power game, right? That's a power game.
Button moves here to seat 5.
Apparently, surfing a line, Jeff Klein went over to the Venetian and lost a $1,300 pot.
Top 2 against bottom set.
Yeah,
That's
that sucks,
overhead.
man.
You know.
Sucks for him.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a worse guy. I mean, a nicer guy.
Well, I guess I played that hand wrong because I folded my 10-jack.
Kelsey would have made the nuts as well.
Right.
But he had 3 people behind him, too, including the pre-flop raiser. So
It's funny, sometimes the hand like Jack 10 there, you'll raise the turn. But I think you correctly pointed out there's a good chance the guy in first position could be sandbagging something on the flop.
Yeah, but I gotta go before I told.
The worst thing that can happen is you raise him there, then he moves all in, and you're forced off your draw. Or you're forced to put a lot of money in with only a draw.
Trust me, you should stay. He'll wait for you. Tell him you're the salmon and the bear.
wow, look at this raise here by BN with ace-5 suited. Michael made the call with 3-4. What a flop for BN. Top pair and the nut flush draw. We talk about how this hand is sometimes overvalued.
Yeah, in this case, it's he's in real good shape. Let's just say that.
I have those. I have 10 of those too.
Bets 50 and he takes it down. Thank you for the email, Joe McLean. Chester on 2+2.
Now you talk about that ace-3 hand with Michael. Now it was a raised pot, and I really like you bet that ace-3 right into your opponents, and you hope one of them's got a big ace.
Like an ace-king, something like
Yeah,
that.
you hope it, and he's going to re-raise you right away, and then you can kind of like, then you can obviously re-raise him again. You can do all sorts of
And the
things.
reason why you do that, even in a game like this where the stack sizes are small, is if you're against a good player and you play it as a check raise, he doesn't have that much committed in the hand, and he might lay 1 pair down. But if you bet and he raises, he's almost forced to call if you're kind of on the shortish stack.
I got to tell you, if somebody check raises me, and I only have 1 pair, I'm usually going to tap the table, go, nice play, and I'm going to throw my hand away. And if I have a big hand, I could do one of 2 things. I can either smooth call you, force you to bet into me again, or I can re-raise you right there on the spot. It's one of the reasons why the check raise is usually overused.
$35 raise here by Kelsey with ace-queen. And again, Kathy has made that call with ace-rag suited. I told you what she said, but we haven't seen her flop an ace yet, so
Well,
we
let's
don't know
see.
how she'll play it.
Now, she's rebought $500. Well, and she's avoided it again. Now, Kelsey's got top pair. He got a nice flop for him. And nobody else has got anything here. This should go bet.
Queen, jack, deuce. Kelsey did not bet it.
Nope.
And the turn now is a 10.
Played a little tricky, he decided to. And
He's
you know
going
what?
to induce Eric to bet here.
Yeah.
But now you got to look at it, and is your ace-queen good enough to... Do you put a... He's going to move in. Well, I mean, I guess he's not scared of Eric's chip stack, he does got a player behind him. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason why I might not check that flop, Dave, is your ace queen good enough to raise now? There's
Yeah.
4 cards out there now.
Now, obviously, you and I would probably never do that in a deeper game. You've got to realize once a 10 comes out there, man, there are a lot of hands you can't beat.
Right.
Kelsey he's not deep enough where I guess he just figured, you know what, if a guy beats me, he beats me. I've induced this bluff. Now, he actually just moved
Oh, he
calls.
called. I thought he went all in. And he did take the showdown. It went check,
Yeah.
check.
Well, I think once a 10 comes out there, I
I
was
thought he
surprised that
moved
he
all in.
raised.
I thought he moved all in
Yeah.
on the turn, which was somewhat puzzling
Yeah.
with the player behind him.
Once the 10 comes out there, I think all you have is really is a bluff catcher. And apparently we're losing BN.
Oh, too
He's
bad.
taking his $1,500 in winnings and leaving. I'm always surprised. I mean, obviously somebody has to go somewhere. That's one thing. But I'm always surprised when you see somebody win $1,500 in a game and go, okay, I'm leaving. Seems like BN's got a nice handle on this game.
So did you see the movie Super Size Me?
I did.
Great movie, right?
That was good. I wouldn't say great movie.
I mean, it was a documentary.
Yeah, it
it
was
was
a
a
good-
lighthearted documentary.
Very entertaining and educational documentary.
It's interesting how people talk about kind of a direct correlation between people's incomes and their obesity sometimes in this country. You know what I mean? In terms of fast food.
Yeah, well,
you know,
it makes sense in the sense that,
lower the income, the higher the obesity rate.
yeah.
Yeah. $75 raise here by Aaron. He's going to raise it up with Queen 8 here after a couple limpers.
I mean, Ray points it out, and nobody's going to call this. Ray points it out, and the truth is, quality food can be expensive. And on top of also that, you've got to realize, if you don't have that much money, can you afford a gym membership? Things like that would normally keep
all
you in
those
shape.
kinds of deals that they do, like the crazy dollar menus. It's almost like fast food wars, and 99 cents for a 20-piece McNuggets. McDonald's doesn't make money off that. They're trying to get you to buy drinks and stuff, which they make money off of. I mean,
And you got to really think about it, though. They're not losing money on that stuff. Anytime you can get 20 pieces of anything for 99 cents, doesn't that make you think?
yeah, I'm just
What are you giving me 20 pieces of?
no. But the point is I think that they take maybe somewhat of not as high as a profit margin, or maybe a slight loss to get you to buy the stuff that is a high profit margin, which is like what is it?
Fries.
No, well, yeah, fries, and how about a soda machine syrup, basically a carbonation mix with
course.
syrup. I mean, a large Coke, $2.50. I mean, that's like 2 cents. The cup costs more than the liquid does.
Oh, definitely. And it looks like Kathy's going to move over to seat 4.
Yeah.
She's the incredible moving machine here. Yeah, I don't. But obviously, it does make sense when you think about it. How much money people make, and you also got to think about people that are lower income are also probably more slaves to their hours. You know what I mean? You see a lot of times. Unfortunately, you see a lot of people that are working 2 jobs to support their family
Might not
or
have
support
time,
their children.
right.
They don't have time to go to the gym or go play basketball or go play tennis. You know what I mean?
I mean, or they can grab a quick, $3 dinner at a fast food place.
No, right. Well, they're rushing from one job to go home to feed their kids, to go to another job, and on the way home, all they can do is stop at McDonald's and get themselves a couple of, quarter pounders.
Right. Button moves over here to seat 8. Of course, you have the education, nutrition factor as well. People who are more educated know more about just, what is, say, good to eat and such.
Now, I'm fairly uneducated, and I don't have much money at all. But I got to tell you, if I eat fast food more than once a year, it's a lot. I don't know how you eat that. I mean, I eat that stuff, and literally my stomach coils.
We need to see Kathy's cards over in seat 4. It's going to get raised up by Eric with the ace-queen here. Kathy limped in with king 3 of clubs. I think she might have posted, Dave. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Did she post because she moved closer? No, she moved away from the button, so she voluntarily entered with that hand. And Eric raised it up to 40.
Well, and new no-limit players new to the game, always overvalue those suited cards.
High and up and down suited.
Yeah. Obviously, king 3 of clubs, not much value there at all.
I mean, we're all laughing in the background because you've got this wife that, this great wife that cooks great food, that cooks for you all the time, too. Not everybody has that luxury.
Of course not, but she actually doesn't cook for me all the time. It's the funny thing is, it's not like I sit around and eat healthy, like, okay, I'm going to have tofu and this.
Right.
I love, like, lamb chops.
Yeah.
And I'll eat all such stuff like that, And I love bacon. but it's just like fast food. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I go eat fast food, I literally curdle.
Well, you almost have to get used to it.
Oh, God forbid getting used to that stuff.
Hey!
Button moves over here to seat 9.
I mean, nothing wrong with going. You go to a ball game, man. Have a couple of beers. I mean, I drink beer at the best of them. I
Yeah.
love that. But
Seriously.
New player here in seat 6.
Someone did that to me, I'd kill him.
He's going to post here. He's got 10-5 off. Oh, did he post? Oh, maybe not. Cold.
No mirrors? No mirrors at home?
Aaron is going to raise it up here with pocket 7.
new player in seat number 6.
Art. And Alan's going to take it down there. Of course, with the junior mints. Still with those junior mints. Aaron.
Same box. Same mints. Same Allen.
I mean, my vice. Did you eat movie theater popcorn, though? Those junior mints combined with the artificial butter and salt.
That's all right. I'm not like Mr. Health.
Right,
I mean, I
right,
eat a lot of crap, but I'm just one of those guys. Like, if I want a burger, I'll go to Whole Foods, and I'll get myself like a quarter pound or a half a pound of ground meat for like $2.
You're not one of those Whole Foods guys, are you, though? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, no, seriously, if you go to Whole Foods,
How about Trader Joe's? So much better for
If
less.
you go to Whole Foods and you get a half a pound of good meat, it costs you $2. Make yourself a burger.
$25 raise here by Kathy with pocket 4. Seat 5 is going to call with 6s. Now, Art's got ace-king offsuit. Kathy's a pretty tight player. He's just going to call. I don't mind that play. Allen gets away from the ace-jack offsuit.
I don't blame you guys for calling me.
Seat 9 is going to call with 6-7 offsuit.
I'm afraid of hyperlight, man.
And I assume that Kelty's probably going to throw 3 more chips in here with queen-jack of hearts. He does.
91.
Nice email here from Chester. Joe McLean says, a subject is Jeff Klein, surfing a line at 2+2. He says, hey, you know, some of us know how to beat bottom set with top 2.
Of course, referring to the 7-5 hand he had against Jerry
last
with
week.
a set of deuces. Well, queen 5-7 here with a couple hearts. Good flop for Kelsey. Top pair and a flush draw. He actually has the best hand here with the queen anyways. Check, check. And now Art is going to bet with the ace-king. He bets 50 here. There are 5 people in the hand. And again, we talk about Art. I haven't seen him play that much, but you might not necessarily be able to play queen-jack of hearts that hard. It could be a big check raise, semi-bluff top hand, but you know you might not be good right now because all your hand really is right now is queen-jack with a heart draw, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. You've got to realize that if Art has ace-queen here, you are behind,
Right.
and you are an underdog to win the pot. And obviously, if your opponent has aces or kings, you'd actually rather them have aces or kings here than ace-queen. But he's
course,
going to
'cause-
raise right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, pot committing himself.
And nobody has anything.
Once
so.
again, not much value to this raise. You've got to realize that I don't think at this level in this game, Art is going to throw a hand that's better than yours away.
Well, do you think that Kelsey might be able to get him off a king, queen, or ace, queen here?
I
Or
don't
queen,
think so.
Or queen, jack.
Maybe queen jack.
Yeah.
Maybe queen jack can get him up. I don't think he gets rid of ace queen though. I really don't.
And Surfing the Line says, Dave, they couldn't pry top 2 pair from your dead hands in a raised pot 3 ways.
Hey, you're right. I never throw away 2 pair. Not in a million years.
He also throws it, Surfing the Line also throws in his 2 cents. Allen is kind of odd looking. But moves over here to C2.
You know, it's funny. It's almost like Jay Siegel is live at the bike potato, right? And Boston is the live at the bike cauliflower, right? You wonder, is Surfing the Line, you know how you always have a village idiot? Yeah, well, anyway, I'll just leave it at that.
4-way action here. Limped around in between the blinds. Ace 4-7 here with a couple of clubs. No one has anything here. Well, 9-4 over there for Art. He's playing 9-4. Entered the pot with 9-4 offsuit. Turns a deuce of clubs. And Gus is going to take a little shot at it here. He's got a wheel draw, a 5 of clubs draw. And Art calls with 9 of clubs, 4 offsuit. He's in the lead. Turn was the deuce of clubs, and the river here is an 8.
Changes nothing.
and the pair of fours is good, and I think it just gets checked down here.
Yeah, well, I don't think Art's going to bet. Yeah, he doesn't. He takes it down.
And again, you look and you see he kind of limped in up front with 9-4 offsuit.
Kind of wonder there. Yeah, you wonder, like, what are you really trying to hit there with 4-9? I mean, obviously, besides 4-4-4 or something like that. Talking about food, though, I do like Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is quality.
And Isaac's suggestion for Jeff Klein, the Live at the Bike rhubarb.
There you go.
Yeah.
Blunt moves over to seat number 3.
Rhubarb
Small
or
blind,
vegetable or
$5.
fruit?
Big blind, $5. And Art is actually going to be under the gun. He's first to act.
Yeah.
Speaking of under the gun, never mind.
Gus has got the button in seat 3.
You get paid off.
Knives are great.
Whoever is in the hand, you get paid off.
Excuse me, you're right. 20-piece McNuggets. No, 10-piece for 99 cents. I've seen
Oh,
that
okay.
guys for it, yeah.
That's much better.
Sorry.
Yeah.
20-piece for $2.
You just wonder when you get a McNugget and you look at it and go, what part of the chicken is this?
They're so good, though.
Pairs come out.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, man.
2 of them. Then you get $25 from everybody.
Gives me the worst case of agita, I tell you.
Now, Kathy is going to raise it up with a suited ace-8.
In first position.
Well, no, she's in the small blind, and it's just one limper and the blind, so maybe she's trying to pick up a little dead money.
Okay, okay.
And Eric is in there with 10-4 suited. And again, you know, it's so interesting to see these guys really loosen up when they play up to the 1,000 level. We saw it with Dr. Allen. Now we see with Eric. I mean, these are hands that they would never play in the 10-20
You wouldn't
game.
think it. I mean, 10-4 space. What are you in there for? And Kathy's going to take down the dead money there. Barry Woods there on the 2+2 thread. Says, yeah, nothing like generalizations on fat people, rich people, and working families. Oh, yeah, now the education bit. Priceless.
2 sevens come on the board.
That's right. Live at the bike. Politically incorrect. Always.
6, 7, 9,
the same
10
color.
hands have been picked.
Barry Woods, of course, kind of the exception to the rule. Has money, but he's chubby.
All right, Jack.
Yeah, well, he's really old.
Yeah.
When you get that age, I mean, it's actually amazing. When you get that age, it's really hard to keep the fat off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know.
3-pack of flop. We all pay 100 each. Okay.
I mean, considering how old he is, he's in amazing shape.
He looks good for his age.
Yeah, exactly.
6, 7.
6, 7, 9, 10.
Aaron's going to raise it up here with big slick offsuit.
Jack.
It's going to make it 60. Huge raise in this game.
Well, he's got now, I mean, you got to think, Aaron's now got $900.
Yeah.
So suddenly the raises should become a little bit bigger. You've got to realize that you've got a bigger stack
Right.
to protect.
Again, but that is pretty big. You know,
That is very
might
big.
make it 40 or. You know.
I might up my normal raise. Let's say I normally raise this game in $30.
30.
At this point, I might make it 40.
Right, right.
7, 9.
Well, you know what? Art's going to call him anyway.
7-9 of hearts.
You know what? Hey, why not? You can make it 200, but you're only going to get called by 7-9 of hearts. And Art's only calling. He's only got about 350 left.
Queen 3 deuce here.
Yeah.
And when Art checks, I mean, you got to put a little continuation bet there by Aaron. But the only problem with this continuation bet, we talk about sometimes pot committing yourself.
You don't call your flop.
If you put, say, 150 in there, and the guy comes over the top for you on, like, let's say $275, you're almost pot committed.
You have to pay
But in this case, Aaron actually bet $100.
It doesn't.
Bets about 80% of the pot, and he takes it down.
Email here from Kerry Eckhart. Says, I'm watching your live webcast, and the visuals and the sound is great. You have a nice site. But you've got to stop talking about McDonald's and fast food. Seriously. It's a bad conversation, and it must be bringing down your ratings. Again, your visuals and the sound and the site and the broadcasters themselves are good. Fast food talk, bad.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Thank you very much for the email, Kerry. Once again, if you have any criticisms for us, praise, or you just want to say hi, questions, whatever you have, email us at live@thebike.com. We'll move on to something else. Did you see Brazil? You saw Brazil-Croatia today?
I did.
Hell of a match, I got to tell you. I was really impressed.
By Croatia, you mean?
Well, you know, after Brazil's dominating performance in 2002, where they actually went undefeated and went on to win the World Cup, I think a lot of the world was kind of wondering and waiting: is Brazil beatable?
Right.
Are they completely dominant? Are they going to dominate the entire landscape again? And Croatia kind of showed today that they can be beaten.
7-4-4 here on the flop. It's missed everybody.
Yeah, Tyler's got a gut shot straight draw. Art has got
Perfect for you, man.
backdoor clubs.
4s or 3s would have been like perfect for you.
Gus has got nothing, but he's got the best hand right now. With ace high.
And it's just between Gus and the blinds. You wonder if Gus will just fire out here with ace high in position.
I think it's an easy bet if you're Gus. I really do.
Checked around.
What do I know?
Turns a 7.
Is Gus going to bet now? I mean, I bet for value now. I got to tell you. I mean, look, the players they're like ready to throw their hand away. There you go. He's going to bet $10.
Yeah.
$5 on the river.
15 actually, and that'll be enough to take it down. I'm pretty sure.
Well, interesting stat. I didn't realize Brazil, in the World Cup in 2002, they went 9-0-0. They're on a 10-game winning streak, which in soccer, for people that aren't familiar, that's incredible. With no draws, Dave.
Wait, 10? I thought I saw the notice today that when they won their 8th straight, today's game broke the record.
No, I thought it was the 10th.
Well, somebody let us know on 2+2.
Yeah, I might have.
But either way, obviously,
Yeah.
they're on an incredible tear.
And I think the only game they lost in 1998 was the finals to France.
Hey, you want to talk about a nice segue? Did you see Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Looked a little chubby, didn't he? Hitting McDonald's a little bit too much.
Butt moves over here.
Full circle, that's right, on Live at the Bike.
Butt moves over here to seat 6. Queen Jack suited here for Eric. It looks like he's going to raise it up. Going to make it 25 to go here, Dave.
And I like that raise. I mean, it's not a bad raise. I mean, it's a little bit early position to be raising with a hand like Queen Jack. But at this table, good chance if you raise, you can probably buy yourself the button. Well, not going to happen.
Michael here in seat 5 is going to come over the top. We can't see his cards.
No, well, let's see. We can't see his cards. What would you guess he has? I mean, would you say at least pocket jacks or higher?
He might do it with ace king. He might do it with ace king.
Well, kings. Here we go.
He's got pocket kings.
And obviously, with a hand like Jack Queen suited here, I'm not going to call this raise. One of the reasons I'm not going to call it is because obviously the guy could easily have aces or kings. He could also have queens or jacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only hand pretty much I think he might do this with where I'm a coin flip is tens. And neither you nor your opponent are deep enough to make that call.
I was playing against one of the hosts of the game, No Limit host Tony, today in the afternoon. And I raced it up with ace-king suited, Dave, under the gun to 60. And he mini-raced me to 120. And we were both deep. So I called, and the flop came out with an ace. It went check, check. I think I might even have checked the turn, and then I put a nice pot-sized bet on the river, and he called, and he had kings. I mean, when you min-raise with kings, you're not going to get ace-king off the hand.
No, he probably doesn't necessarily want you off the hand either. He might just want the players in behind you out. He doesn't mind that you call with ace-king, does he?
I really am. Right now, I think it's going to be
$40 raise. $45 raise here.
I mean, I think some people actually misconstrue. Some people think they're raising to win the pot right there. Well, that's not necessarily the truth. Sometimes I'm raising to get the players out behind me and to have you call me heads up.
Right.
Plus, he's in position with kings. Not a bad place to be.
And he didn't really, he didn't make the call on the river. In hindsight, I wonder, he was tilting a little bit. If I'd put, say, a little bet on the turn when it went check, check on the flop, like a little weak $100 bet, maybe a half pot size bet.
Right.
And then when he called, really actually over bet the river. Would he have called? Because he made a really peculiar call, like the first hand I sat down. Dave, I had called him in the blind with pocket fours. He had raised with 6-5 offsuit, and the flop came 10-8-5. I bet the flop, he called. The turn was a queen. It went check, check. The river was a 10. I bet again, and he called with 5-6.
It's sometimes his game is very strange. Obviously, if you catch anybody at the wrong time,
Right.
You can always kind of say, what is the guy doing?
Right.
You got good odds.
But his game is definitely a little bit strange. He's made a couple of moves on me where, I moved in on him and he's called with top pair 9 kicker. And I'm going, wow, you think I'm always bluffing?
Three-way action here, limped around, and the blinds. Kelsey and the blinds here. 3, 4, 5. Well, Eric's got top pair here.
I check.
Let's see if Eric's going to throw a bet out here with 9-4. Or 9-5, excuse me. He's going to bet. He's going to bet 10. And we are kind of dealing with a little bit of a tight table here.
Definitely. Interesting here by Surfing the Line, and I'll be a little more serious in this part. He says here, he was talking about obviously the board where he had ace-jack. The board was ace-jack 8, raised pot. He's got ace-jack. Can you lay it down? Obviously his opponent had a set of 8s. Very rarely, obviously, you're going to lay that hand down. Against most opponents that will overcommit with ace-king or ace-queen, obviously you've got a great holding there. Obviously, if I'm playing against somebody, let's say, actually, if I'm playing against you, Bart, or if I'm playing against somebody like Dr. Beebe, who I know isn't going to overcommit with only one pair, you've got to realize that Ace-Jack is vulnerable. It's not like your hand is concealed.
It's funny people were talking about how we're laying into Barry Woods. Barry Woods, I really like the guy, but he really does not discriminate. He makes fun of everyone at the table. Mike, Kirk, Dr. Beebe.
Oh, it's all in fun.
Everyone.
It's all in
Oh,
fun.
yeah, no, I know it's all in fun. I'm saying that he's really indiscriminate about kind of his jest.
Come on. The guy is naked with my wife once every 2 weeks. Come on. That gives me the right to rip as much as I want to. Are you kidding me?
We had a straddled pot here by I think it was by Gus, and Kelsey is going to take the initiative to raise out of the big blind here with garbage. And he's going to take down the dead money.
He's going to steal this.
Yep.
Nice little steal here by Kelsey. And is he going to show the 7-3? Let's see if he shows the bluff. Come on, show it, Kelsey. Good for the game. Nah, he's not going to show it. I always know if somebody's going to rip you, the best thing you can do is kind of just bring it up before they bring it up. Beat him to the punch. Email here from Ben Dixon out of Norman, Oklahoma. Yeah. He says, I've been struggling lately in my cash games, partly some bad luck, but mostly bad decisions. I find myself really keeping close tabs on my exact chip count and how much I'm up or down, which I never used to do. Do you guys do this when you play? What can I do to maybe get my mind off this? Thanks.
Well, that's a good question, Ben. I mean, one of the things we always point out that we actually don't like about Mo's game is I have no problem keeping close tabs of how you're doing in a session, but because you're up or down X amount should not affect the way that you play.
No, each decision should be
independent of
it's the old saying of one hand at a time.
Right.
Stay present, stay in the moment, and play that one hand. Whether you are up 10,000, down 10,000, whether you've been running good, running bad, no matter what, make the best decision for that one hand.
Michael's going to raise here with Ace-King. He's not going to see any action. Because, again, sometimes we see Mo really say, well, I'm up this much so I can make this call for the session.
Makes no sense at all. Obviously, he doesn't look at it as all one long picture. And I have utmost respect for Mo. I want to refer Mr. Dixon out of Oklahoma to a great song, The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. And to quote Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to fold them, know when to hold them. Never count your money while you're at the table. There'll be plenty of time for counting after the dealing's done. I think that's the quote, right? Wow. The line? When the dealing's done, right? Thank you, Ray.
A couple of big hands here. Pocket tens for seat 5. Michael just limps in. Ace Queen.
Yeah, never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
Ace Queen here for Art. He makes it 30 and pocket nines for Allen. So smooth call here by Allen with nines. Art the razor with Ace Queen.
Tens there, wow.
Yeah, just a limp in here from early position with tens.
And at this point, I think it's just a smooth call at tens, isn't it?
Well, he's limped in with tens, so you imagine he's in first position. Now, Kelsey's got a little deuce 3 of hearts. He's not going to get involved. Art does not have that much money.
Now, we talk about
razor.
I want to ask you something. Now, Kathy's going to limp in here. Now, you talk about the value here. Now, Michael has one of two plays. He can call this, or he can re-raise and try to take it down. Now, to take it down, he's probably going to have to put 150 in to win himself probably about 80.
Right.
Or you can see the flop for cheap and try to win a monster pot.
And he does just call here.
Obviously, two ways to go about it.
So it's about a $140 pot.
And there's the 10.
Top set here from Michael. Unfortunately for him, nobody has anything. Now, it gets checked to Allen, and I bet you Allen's going to bet here with nines.
How does Allen not bet this? And Kathy's got a gut shot. If a 6 were to come off, you know Michael's going broke.
So Michael has checked top set, and Allen's going to bet 60 here. Now, times to check top set, actually, you might not mind this because if there was an ace out there and a pre-flop razor, I think you'd bet it almost 100% of the time.
Oh, of course.
Here he's going to play it a little bit slow. I don't know if he's going to make any more money off of Allen, though. Once he calls, Allen's got to think, well, what the hell is this guy calling?
Yeah,
5-6?
8-9 or 5-6.
Well, the turn's a 6. 8-9 would get there now.
Yeah, 5-6 would have made a pair of 6s.
And now Michael's going to bet out here.
It almost screams like 8-9 to me, doesn't it? I mean, unless you think the guy's got 5-6 and he's trying to price himself into his draw.
Obviously, Allen
and look at that.
Yeah.
If Allen had taken the card.
Yeah, if Allen hadn't bet, Kathy would have backed right into that gut shot.
Ooh, man, that would have been huge.
Which actually is the third straight hand. There are 3 straights out there, and it's not the
8-5, 8-9.
Yeah.
Look, Kathy. Telling
Yeah.
Gus, I would have made this hand. I would have made a lot of money here.
I don't think Allen's going to continue on here. There's not a whole lot he can beat.
No, he can't beat 8-9 now. He can't beat 8-5
He's
now.
going to make the call. Maybe he figures if he hits his 8, he would be good, or a 9. Unfortunately for him, if he hits a 9, it is not good. He makes
needs
the
an
call.
8 and only an 8, huh?
Yep. If he hits a 9 here, well, this is going to be a one-liner to a straight. Here we go to the river, and the river's a 9.
Oh, wow.
And let's see if it's
You know,
going
why would you put somebody on a 5 here?
an 8.
An 8, I'm sorry.
And Michael's going to bet 200 here, and Allen calls. And again, he probably figured that his 9 was good, but it was not
Oh,
good.
of course.
Michael's going to take it down there.
And I got to tell you, once Michael calls me on a flop and then bets into me, I'm probably done with it. You just got to start thinking of the hands that Michael might have, and what can you beat, really?
I beat you. 3-5 of diamonds.
I mean, I actually think there are times, back to that email by Mr. Dixon out of Oklahoma, there are times to be now. You should kind of know approximately what you have at the table, but it's not really important to know exactly how much you have. And if it's going to affect the way you play, well, hey, don't put them in normal stacks.
Infinite One said, you're right, Brazil has won 8 in a row. And Barry Wood said he was away from the computer, so he didn't know what we said. Well, Barry, we were talking about fast food restaurants, talking about how there's almost a direct relation of people, you know, the amount of money they have and, say, their chubbiness
We
or
heard that.
their obeseness. And we were saying you were kind of an exception, having a lot of money yet still being chubby.
Right.
And old.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, you said he wasn't chubby.
No, I said,
He's a little chubby.
yeah. You know, he has, you know, he kind of breaks that because he has money, but he's still linked around here.
30.
And Eric's going to raise here with a suited ace-7 of hearts. Now,
Are you not allowed to curse on 2+2?
I'm not sure. Might be against like those moderated rules. Michael's going to call.
What hand? That's nothing.
And we are heads up here. Ace-7 of hearts against ace-4 of diamonds. 10-5-3 here on the flop. Well, Michael's got a gut shot wheel draw. Eric doesn't have anything. Is he going to make a continuation bet? Michael checks. And Eric checks right behind him here, Dave. Turns 10.
I'm surprised Eric would check that. I mean, you're in position with a hand that's... And now he's going to bet it.
Now he's going to bet it.
An easy laydown for Michael.
Well, unless the hand just doesn't make sense to you, what would Eric check and now bet on the
Well,
turn?
I mean, you're certainly not going to call. You're either going to check raise. But would a check raise make any sense?
Well,
I got to tell you, if somebody check raises me here, I'm probably going to push them all in. I don't... What is he checking twice to me? I don't buy it.
Small, too big.
You know, I'm not that much in. I mean, I do kind of follow 2+2 in the different forums, but apparently one of the strictest moderators moderates the thread that we are within, or the forum that we are within, the Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. I think the guy's name is Dynasty or something.
Yeah, whatever. I gotta tell you, if we had a thread, my own thread, you could curse all you want,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
30.
$30 raise here by Dave Kelsey. 5-6 of diamonds. Now Michael's got ace queen here on the button, just a smooth call. We're heads up here. 5-6 of diamonds against ace queen. Well, if Kelsey leads here, you wonder if Michael's just going to fold, Dave, with ace queen. He did not buy himself the button with the raise. Michael has position on him. And he checks it. Michael checks right behind him. Well, the turn's a 5, and Kelsey's outturned him here.
I gotta tell you, I think it's an easy bet for Kelsey, isn't it?
Right now,
Yeah.
he checked it again. Well, now Michael's going to bet, and he can't see Kelsey fold here.
Fold. I would check raise this.
Really? You don't think the guy could be sandbagging a 7?
That's so wrong. You gotta
I mean, I'll bring you back to your comment. If you check raise, what are you going to get called by that you don't beat, that that he beat. Or
No,
they-
no, you might not get called by that. You got to realize your hand is vulnerable to all these overcards. He could have an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, a 10. I just don't put him on a hand.
Kelsey calls. River's a 10.
No, and if Michael's in there with jack 10, now you're beat.
Yes, you didn't win this.
So there are sometimes you're check raising to build a pot there. Sometimes you're check raising just to take it down right there and then. And I think that's one of those times. I probably bet right into him. And if he's going to bet it, if he's going to check it, I'd probably definitely check raise him.
You guys are evil.
Once again, live at the bike. Blinds are 5 and 5 in this game. Don't forget to miss. Don't forget. I always say that. Don't forget the catches tomorrow night. We've got our whale game tomorrow night. 20-40 blinds, minimum buy-in of $2,000. Probably close to 50,000, maybe even 70,000 on the table.
No, I'm out.
You're out.
7 o'clock Pacific time. Got an email here from Todd in Kansas. Says, Dave and Buster.
9, 10, jack.
Where the heck is Buster?
Here we go.
Are you Buster?
I guess so.
You're taking 9, 10, jack?
Of course.
9, 10, jack.
I think is Kathy out of the game now? Huh?
She's gone, yeah.
Limped around here. Queen 4-3.
Yep.
3-4.
Best hand is actually seat number 7 with an 8-4. That's Tyler. Haven't heard much from him all night. Oh,
Turn
6
to
on turn.
6.
And Gus is now open-ended. Allen is actually open-ended as well.
And he's got the better. If the 7 comes, he's going to beat Gus's straight.
Right.
Now, but Gus also has a flush draw here with hearts.
Yeah, Gus's hand is big enough to actually raise.
He just calls, and the river's a 9. And neither player have a pair here.
No, Gus actually has a pair of
Oh,
threes.
you're right. Yeah, Gus does have a
Yeah,
pair.
he wins. Okay, this email here. I think it's fantastic that we have Kathy to moderate the free flow of normal poker conversation.
As soon as you called, I knew I was going for a chop.
She obviously has a much better perspective of what is actual normal poker dialogue. We are truly blessed to have such a superior person to guide the broadcast of the show. Great work, Kathy. She should be on the Hillary 2008 campaign. I guess she was, I don't know, I didn't pick it up. Was she interrupting some of the players at the table or something?
I have no idea what the email is referencing.
Yeah.
I got to tell you. Todd, if you want to follow up with another email and let us know.
He's in the 500.
Yeah, I don't know if he's referring to Kerry, who emailed us, or Kathy that was in the game. Because I didn't think Kathy did anything out of line in the game.
Same cards?
I think he must be referring to Kerry, who emailed us about the McDonald's. It's
Oh,
gotta
there you
be
go.
that.
Okay,
It's
cool.
just confusing to us because we had a Kathy in the game.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
confused
yeah.
as well. Thank you, Todd.
Tyler's got ace king here, and seat 8's got ace queen. Now,
10.
the pre-flop raiser here was Art with 3s, I believe. King 10 deuce, and ace king and ace queen just smooth called.
Well, Ace King is good here. It's a nice flop for Ace King.
And Art is going to follow up with a continuation bet here on this Broadway board. He's got Tyler right to his left with ace king, and Tyler looks like he's going to put a little he's going to put a raise in here.
Yep. Obviously, Allen can get rid of his Ace Queen really easy. Come on, Allen, stop wasting our time. What is it about this show that causes players to take an extra 5 or 6 seconds to throw a hand away?
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, especially this night and this game. Sometimes it drives me wacky.
I mean, you get a bet for 3s, a
Yeah.
raise from Ace King. Allen has Ace Queen, and he's got to eye Tyler up and down.
Yeah.
Think about it for 5 seconds. I mean, obviously he's not thinking, and then he throws his hand away.
Email here from Val Zudans. He says, as an internet player, I have little real-life experience with live tells. If you notice any, would you please point them out and discuss the importance of them, or lack of importance? of
We
them?
talk about him all the time. Anytime we see it, we point it out.
I mean, there are little things talking about, when somebody puts in those $1 chips, they might be a little bit weak. Dave, when somebody puts in a bet and it's sloppy and then they go to fix the chip, sometimes it's, more of a bluff. And again, an astute player might do that to make it look like that as a
Right.
reverse tell as well.
Of course.
But we
Yeah.
do try to point it out when we see it.
If you want to check out the archives, you can go to liveatthebike.com, Val. Top left-hand corner's archives. You can get it for just $14.95. You get access to every single show we've ever had. Well worth the value. If you were to watch, say, 3 or 4 shows,
Yeah.
you would pick up on so many tells. It would be ridiculous.
Michael's raised here at 35, and Art has called here that treble hand.
Yeah, I don't usually like calling raises with ace-jack offsuit. Talk about a hand that's very easily dominated and not very well disguised.
And again, if he hits the ace here, he can't really play all that far.
No.
Queen 7-4 here on the flop. Not a bad flop for Jacks, just facing one over card.
No, I think it's an automatic bet by Michael, and he's going to put a little continuation bet there. And Art's got nothing. And he bets 40 into about a $75 pot. And Art quickly calls. Wow, I mean, you really wonder sometimes when somebody calls like that with ace-jack, you wonder, it's very difficult, obviously, for Michael to put him on a hand here. There aren't that many draws out there, maybe 5, 6. But you've got to think, well, does this guy have a queen or what?
Well, he's going to throw another bet out in here.
60.
Obviously, this is some of the times it's difficult to play no limit hold'em against a guy like Art because you never know what he has when he's calling.
Right.
And Art's struggling with it, but he throws it away.
Email here from Michael Neidrich saying, I agree with Kerry Eckhart. Good job with commentation, and I like your show, but stop with the fast food stuff. And then an email by Dr. Allen, who plays on the show. He says, I'm not really sure what this means. I make enough to eat well and to know better, but I just love McDonald's. Chicken nuggets, McRibs, double animal style at In-N-Out. Besides that, I can't seem to get fat. I mean, Dr. Allen looks in pretty good shape, not chubby at all.
Right. Well, he's a lot younger than, like, say somebody like Barry Woods.
Is he?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Barry Woods is really old. He hides it well, but he's really, really old.
See, that's lame. Pretty soon it's going to ask you if you wear your freaking G-string backwards.
I thought you were going to ask me if you wanted to ride.
I mean, he does have kids in their mid-20s.
You usually do, don't you?
Limped around here.
Kelsey, just buy him a drink, right? Buy him a drink.
Three-way action here, limped around.
There's a jack. Eric's got top pair. I think Art's going to get involved here with the bottom pair. I mean, he called with no pair before, so you imagine he's at least going to take one off, right? You wonder if Art's kind of got a limit hold'em background.
I know that Art actually is kind of he works with Eric. Again, Eric does both commodity traders, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does not get involved.
What do you mean? I thought Art was playing.
Email here from Sam Jepson. He says, I played with Seat 7 in San Diego a lot, but I didn't know his name was Tyler. He always puts his name on the board and goes by the Drifter.
Oh, I like that.
I don't care for poker nicknames myself, but have either of you been called something other than Barton or David?
Oh, I get called asshole, schmuck, all sorts of things. Now, it's funny. Most of my friends actually call me Tuckman, just by my last name, Tucker Tuckman.
Really? That's good, man.
And that's the name I'll always, if I ever heard that, I'll always turn around.
40.
Alan's going to raise here. He's got a couple of ladies, pocket queens.
Yeah. Bart obviously has a new nickname tonight, Buster.
Yeah.
I like that.
Look at this. Barry Wood says, gotta go eat. Save the crap for me for about a half an hour. I mean, need we say more?
There you go.
Aaron's going to call with a king-jack. Again, a very dominated hand often. Now, is Art going to come in here with 7-4 clubs out of position? He does not. And you wonder if Aaron's going to get involved here on a jack-high board, Dave. Well, ace, ace, 10. Not a bad flop for queens with a couple of aces out there.
No.
That's what Francois gets for taking so fucking long.
And it goes check, check. Now, the straight for Aaron would be no good because the
Right.
queen would fill Allen up.
Oh, Aaron is now, I mean, he's a king and only a king.
And it goes check, check again, and the river is a 10.
Yeah,
And now Allen checks,
and you
and Aaron bets, and Allen just gets rid of it. I'm really surprised with the way that action went.
I was going to say, I thought Allen for sure would call.
And
you
I'm
really
surprised
buy
that Aaron actually checked the river there with maybe a hand that you think can win in a showdown, which is the no pair, right? Aces and tens with the king.
I can't believe, first of all, you're surprised Aaron bet it. But second of all, you're really surprised Allen didn't call it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you scared of?
20-40 hit it 6.
But the guy had to have an ace?
Bud moves over here to C2. I'll leave that one to your discretion if you want to read that.
The guy with 6 has made how much?
Button moves over to seat number 2.
10-10.
And we're going to see a flop here. Limped around. King 8-5. King Jack Aaron's got the best hand here in seat number 9. It checks over to Aaron. He's going to bet. Looks like about. Makes a nice hefty bet there, $50. And that should be enough to take it down. And it is. Take it down, Aaron.
I don't know.
Once again, check out our website. We've got a bunch of really cool things over there. We've got a video blog where Buster and I like to, we dissect hands, kind of analyze your hands. If you have a hand that's kind of been troubling you and you want us to go over it and analyze it, you can send it in an email. Send in the subject heading hand for blog, and then send everything you possibly know about the hand. How much money you have, how deep your opponent is, what positions you guys were in, were you winning, was he winning, were either one of you drunk, anything helps. And we'll take the best emails and we will dissect it. Now Tyler's going to make it $25 to go with pocket jacks. And I got to hand it to Tyler here. Tyler plays the 5-10 game very well, and he seems to play this 3 to 500 game very well. And oftentimes you see a lot of players, when they move down, they play it a little bit too loose. Or if they move up, they play it a little bit too tight, weak. And he seems to have a good handle on the game at both levels. Drifter over there in seat 7.
Don't ever listen to Francois. It's like the worst idea ever to do. The worst thing to listen.
Button moves over to seat number 5. We get Francois. That's a look. And Alan's going to make it $20 to go with the old 7-4 spades. Not much of a hold'em hand. Good blackjack hand though. Double down, Alan. And Eric's going to call him with ace-9 of spades, and you know Michael's going to at least call with ace-king. Is he going to raise though? See how he plays it. Francois throws it away, and the action's on to Michael with ace-king. And he's just going to call. Now he's on the button with ace-king, and we're going to see this 4 ways, $80 pot. 9-7-5, and Art has the best hand here, top pair, and he's going to see what he does. Actually, Eric has the best hand. I'm sorry, ace-9, top pair, top kicker. And Art's going to bet right into it.
He bets 40.
Yeah, and Alan can easily lay down 7-4 spades here. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got two people behind him. I can't imagine he's going to call.
Now, is Eric going to smooth call this, or is he going to put a little raise in there? And I might put a little bit of a raise in there only because if I can get my opponent out in seat 5, seat number 6 is not very deep. And I don't mind putting all my money in against him because he only has about $110.
I might actually add something else, too. If you raise there, is your fold equity, maybe not in this game, but, if I got a solid player, a bet and a raise, I might just get rid of something like jacks here on the button. Would you ever do that?
Yeah, you could. I mean, Michael smooth called the raise. I don't put him on an overpair. I really don't. I put him on 2 Broadway cards, but I don't want him staying in there for $40, maybe catching a king or a queen or a jack.
We're heads up here, turns a queen.
Yeah, and you see that card actually, Art's actually picked up a flush draw now.
And I don't think Eric and Art bet against each other. They said they were buddies. And
Eric's going to take it down.
No, Art actually rivered 2
pair
there.
Oh, wow, 2 pair, thank you.
Yeah, he rivered 2 pair. 9-6 is going to take it down. It's funny. I see people in the 5-10 game get into this thing where they check down hands, and then it causes problems because they get pissed when somebody rivers them when they shouldn't even have been in there. They're like, screw it, I'm not checking down anymore.
Yeah. I don't understand why anybody checks it down. I mean, obviously, I'm not looking to play it hard against some people, but at the same time, I'm going to play it the same way. I'm not looking to get mixed up with you in a pot, right? Not really because I like you as a friend, more because I respect your play.
Right.
But at the same time, if I'm in a hand with you, I'm not going to play it differently. And I would assume you're not going to either. I know you don't.
$20 raise here by Mike. Jack 9 offsuit. And Alan's going to call heads up on the blind with deuce 4 spades. Well, they're both deep. Ace 4-7 here. Michael's going to lead with the continuation bet. And I assume Alan just is not going to get involved. He does not. email here by Eric Messier. Says, just wondering how long you guys have been playing. You guys really seem to know what you're talking about. I've been only playing 7 months, seriously, and took down my 6th multi-table tournament last night, which happens to be my biggest win to date. Just saying I like the show, and good luck to you both at the table. Should be there in a couple months, so see you then. Thank you, Eric Michael.
How about? Oh yeah, okay.
It's always interesting when a lot of people email us, and the from line is from a different person or a different last name than how they sign it.
Yeah,
from.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, it's strange sometimes.
And, you know, I've actually been playing poker most of my life, whether it be in home games with my buddies or with my dad, sitting behind my dad watching him play. Professionally, I've been playing for about 2.5 years now.
Limp. And it's limped around here in between the blinds. So Francois has entered the game in seat 4. Nut flush draw here for Alan. See if he's going to lead out. No, he does not lead out.
Now, this is one of those hands where I really like to lead out into it. You see now, seat number 6, Art's got a weak king. And against normal players, you should be able to get somebody off of a weak king.
And Alan just folds the ace-5 suited? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wonder if he even knew it.
I don't quite understand. It's an odd play.
That is a little odd.
I mean, I actually double-checked. I went over to see, make sure he actually had ace-5 of spades, and
Yeah,
he
he
did. Frank, I'm not sure what kind of flop you're looking for.
Well, maybe he just thought that he had ace-5 offset. I mean, sometimes we see that.
Not if you're not in the hand. You gotta be dealt in.
Gotta be dealt in here.
And Bill Momberger said, Barton talk. Come on now, you mean no one's ever addressed either of you as donkey, fish, or luckbox?
Yeah, I've been addressed as those as well.
Your ass ain't in the seat. You don't get
Oh, there's a hand, Dave, last night. I wasn't here, but I heard about it.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it in a second between Corporation Mike
Oh, I
and
heard it.
Paul.
Yeah. I heard it too.
You know, the turkey of the show, Paul. The seasoned
Especially like
turkey
5
pro.
ways, yeah.
And I'll get to it in a second. But
We should save it for the
unbelievable.
video blog.
I don't think it would necessarily translate from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
What would he help you out?
6-way action here. I think it's more exciting just to say it now.
Okay.
Ace King 5 here with a couple
Go
of
ahead,
clubs.
man. I'm not going to stop you.
Michael's got a flush draw.
And if he bets it here, like to bet your draws, and he's going to bet this draw. Doesn't have the best hand right now, but he's got the best draw, and that should be enough to take it down. Nobody's got an ace or a king.
Yeah.
Actually, nobody's got a 5 either.
Well, Art is going to call with a gut shot here. Jack 10 to the queen.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, at this point, Art's got to think that he maybe has 3 outs. I mean, the queen of clubs, what do you do if that comes?
Turns a 7.
And now Michael's made a pair.
And again, you earlier pointed out, you just don't know what Art is calling, and he's going to continue to lead here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wonder, a lot of times players come from a limit hold'em background where they just take one off. And then sometimes in limit hold'em, it is correct to take one off.
Yeah.
I happen to think that's a leak in a lot of people's limit hold'em game.
Make that minor adjustment here and there.
So anyways, I'll get to this hand real quick. Basically, Mike's playing his game in the 5-10 game. He's about $10,000 behind. And Paul, again, the seasoned turkey pro, he's got about $5,500. Mike is straddled, Dave. It gets limped around 7 ways to Mike in the straddle spot. He picks up 2 red kings, and he makes it $350 to go. A guy up in front who limped on the short stack basically pushes in as a call for a little less, 700 with a suited ace. Okay? Another guy folds an ace, like ace 10 or something like that. Paul re-raises and makes it $2,200 to go with ace king suited. Mike gets back to Mike. He pushes all in. Paul feels he's committed. He's put in half his stack with ace king. He makes the call. The case ace comes off on the flop. A $10,000 board run, and Mike loses. All in, ace king against kings for a $10,000 pot. Can you
It's funny,
imagine?
I heard the story differently than that, but that's ugly.
You heard it differently than that?
Yeah, Mo actually told me the story, and he was saying how somebody had pocket aces, somebody else had pocket jacks. He had pocket kings.
This is a different hand.
Wow, okay.
That's a different hand. Yeah, because Mo wasn't there for that hand.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
And Mike ended up, they didn't run it more than once, they just ran it one time, huh?
Yep. Well, Paul, I guess Paul doesn't like to run it more than once.
No, he doesn't usually.
There was 1 ace left on the deck, and Paul hit it. $25 raise here by Tyler, opening it up. We were 7-10 of hearts.
That's ugly.
The Drifter in seat 7. Now, Alan is called kind of a tight player with ace-jack. Aaron's in there with 9s. Francois is going to call with king 7 of clubs from up front. So we got about a $100 pot going here 4 ways. Oh, 3 flush here. Ace, 8, 7.
It's not a terrible flop for Allen. He's got top pair with the jack of diamonds.
How is he going to play it? Tyler's going to bet pretty he bets pretty hard here, 75.
And I got to tell you, that's got to be a scary board for so many hands. I probably put a little bump raise in there.
Really?
Almost as a pot controlling raise as well. You've got to realize that it's very difficult for somebody to re-raise you unless they have a huge hand. And Alan's just going to throw it away. And I got to tell you, I think that's just too tight a laydown.
I don't know. I don't necessarily mind the laydown all that much. I don't know why he was in there pre-flop.
Okay, that's one argument. But once
he's
you're
drawn
in
into
there,
he's drawn in the third nut flush draw, and we talk about the over-dominance that Ace-Jack always comes against. Tyler, this is the first raise he's really raised with a subpar hand, and he bets right out in there. I mean,
I know, but what do you put Tyler on? What, he has to have Ace-King with the King of Diamonds?
I know. I think
that's the hand he has to have?
I think you actually might call once. That may be be one of the times when you might call and kind of see what's happened behind you.
Either way, sometimes raising on the flop actually is a pot control move, because oftentimes they will check you on the turn, and you can decide to take the free card, obviously, and control that pot size.
Right.
35.
Either way, I just think the laydown is just a little bit too tight.
So I could go either way with that. Get a raise here to 35
100.
by Kelsey with Queen Jack.
35.
And Francois is going to come over the top to 100 with Ace-9. You know, it's funny. It's like Francois is like my Amir. And Kelsey quickly folds. What I mean by that is Amir likes to make moves on Mo. Francois always likes to make moves on me. And he's come out with the bigger end of it, but he's exposed his stack so much to me, Dave. I know one of these days I'm just going to really crush him.
Of course.
Because I don't have really an ego going for me. Remember that time when he check-raised me with pocket nines a couple of weeks ago?
For whatever reason...
Let's take a look at a chip count here.
Yeah. 6,000 on the table now. Aaron and Michael have got the most money on the table. Let's see how they're doing. Aaron up at $525. Alan up $320. Kelsey up $300. Tyler and Michael are both up a little bit. Gus is our big loser. He's down over $1,000 tonight. Hasn't been able to turn it around. And we'll keep track of this throughout the night. Yeah, for whatever reason, you wonder if maybe he doesn't respect your game. And he thinks he can just always run you over. Obviously, if he tries it enough, he's definitely going to get snapped off one of these times.
I mean, for him to check raise with nines, Matt, I don't really want to get into the hand, but I mean, there's just, he didn't really recognize the fact that there was absolutely no fold equity for me to fold top pair when I fired into a pot twice, basically, kind of the sum of the story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like he's got his gambling shoes on tonight.
I don't have to win that, do I? 10?
Because we've already seen him call a raise with King-7 suited out of position. And then he's re-raised out of position with Ace-9. And you can always tell when sometimes people come into the game and they're kind of ready to play their A game and they come in really patient. You look at a guy like Tyler Drifter in seat number 7, and he looks like he's playing his A game tonight. He's really on tonight. He's patient, he's waiting, not in a rush.
Post here by Wes Vids on 2+2. He says, in response to all the haters who want Dave and Mark to talk strictly about poker, I see Live at the Bike as not only a poker show, but also a men's version of The View and Sex and the City rolled into one. You never know what you may learn.
That is my new favorite post. As far as I'm concerned, Wes Vids, you are the new poster boy of Live at the Bike. Or poster girl, I don't even know who you are. But that's a great post.
Eric's going to throw out a bet here. He's got top and bottom, $20 bet here. Now, is Michael going to get involved with Queen 10? He does. He's got middle pair, Dave. The problem with calling here, he's got middle pair and a gut shot. Like we always say, if he makes his straight, isn't it pretty obvious? The other thing, too, is if he makes his two pair, it's going to give anyone with a king a straight.
Yeah. The only card you really want to see here is a queen.
And Eric's in good shape here with the ace-jack.
No pair on the board, man. Don't worry.
Here we go to the turn. Turns a 3. Eric's going to come out and bet here again. He's going to bet to 60.
60.
Unless Michael's planning on making a move here, I just can't imagine he's just going to keep calling here. Michael said, what do you have, Queen 10? Of course, that's what he has in his hand.
And that's, by the way, that's a tell. If you're playing in a game and somebody asks you if you have a flush draw, more often than not, they have a flush draw. It's not always, but it is sometimes a tell.
Another email here from Stuart said, hey guys, I just discovered the show last week. I love it. I'm hooked already. You two are by far the best poker commentators I've ever heard. I don't mind the little off poker tangents you go on occasionally. Keeps the commentary amusing as well as interesting. Not every hand we see is that exciting. And I don't expect you to analyze every little thing. In fact, I think if you did that, it might turn me off from the show. Keep it up. Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the email. Obviously, you've got to realize that when you watch poker on TV, most of the time it's tournament poker. Obviously, GSN has high stakes, but even in that case, you are seeing an edited version. You are basically seeing the ESPN highlights of a poker tournament or poker cash game.
Yeah.
Therefore, there's really not any time, obviously, for them to go off subject because you're only seeing maybe 10 hands, and all 10 hands are very, very interesting and very exciting. Now, here you're seeing every single hand. You also have to understand that before the cards go up on the screen that you see, Bart and I can see them. And sometimes we know if it's going to be exciting or not, even before it happens.
Kelsey raised here with King 10 to get called by pocket threes and 6-4 offsuit. And pocket threes are good here, 9-8 deuce. Now, again, Kelsey has not bought himself the button. He's actually out of position. He does not fire. I think it's going to get, well, I think that Art actually checked out of turn.
Well, he's raising a little bit too far off the button to buy himself the button.
Yeah. So it gets checked, and Michael's going to take a stab at it here with threes. Kelsey checked. Michael bets 45 here. And is Kelsey going to get involved? I don't think he can play this hand as a check call.
I mean, I like to think of Live at the Bike as kind of like the Man Show.
And look at this, Barry.
Focusing on poker.
Barry Woods has done that fix your post thing and said, you know, I see Live at the Bike not only as a poker show, but also a men's version of The View and Sex and the City rolled into one. Fix your post, you never may learn, as opposed to you never know what you might learn.
Oh, I
Very
see.
clever by
He's
Barry
being very
Woods.
witty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Surfing Illini says he's played with Dr. Allen, and I assume he's talking about Ian Vegas several times. What do you think about his play?
You're talking about Dr. Allen or Allen?
No, I think he's talking about Dr. Allen. Really? Yes, he is talking about Dr. Allen. I almost guarantee it. Not Allen from the show.
The post says, are either of you really a fan of Allen's play? I played with him more than a dozen times. Your thoughts? Why would he be talking about Dr. Allen?
Oh, you mean Allen in seat 8?
Yeah.
Maybe I thought he was referring to the email that we read about Dr. Allen, because I know that Surfing Illini played with him in Vegas.
Well, do me a favor. Surfing Illini, let us know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Limped around here 4 ways. Well, someone's got 8-9 here. It's Art. He's flopping nuts.
Well, you know what? If you play enough hands, and Art's been in every single one, eventually you're going to flop the nuts.
Now, the question is, can you maximize your win here?
Well, he's going to have to.
Eric is going to bet out here with the bottom end of an open-ended straight try.
And if Art can get lucky, a 4 will hit.
But again, I don't think Art and Eric bet against each other. No, Art is going to raise. Art is going to raise. Aaron's out of there with Queen 8, top end of the open-ended straight draw. And the thing here is, if you don't bet against your buddy, you know, if you're Eric, you might call because you're going to see 2 free cards, right?
Well, if I don't bet against my buddy, I might just throw it away, though, too, because there's no implied odds.
Turns a queen. Yeah, check. And Art flopped the straight, and he got there.
Yep.
Or he made it on the flop. He's going to take it
Eric
down.
backs into a king. Obviously no good, though.
Well, I mean, I can take that question and refer to both players. I
go
think
ahead.
both Allens are very strong players. I think Dr. Allen really has added an element to his game. I'm a big fan of Dr. Allen's game. I've never really seen Allen play in a deep stack no limit game, so it's kind of tough to stack up his.
Close up there of Allen and Kevin, obviously.
I mean, we see Dr. Allen make well-timed bluffs using his image. You know, we saw him to get Mo to lay down the ace-queen, obviously.
He seems to be keenly aware of what is going on at the table,
right?
And he seems to know how to take advantage of it. Allen's game is pretty good too. Once in a while, he makes a move that kind of seems a little peculiar. Plays a little bit too tight, I think, in this game. I don't think he adapts his game to the table he's playing at.
$40 raise here by Art with ace-jack. One other thing about Allen's game, sometimes I have a little bit of a problem with, is that, you know, we always complain about players playing too slow. I think he plays a little bit too fast in terms of time he takes to make a decision when he's calling. Sometimes he beats somebody into the pot to make a call. He never really thinks through the situation. It just appears like that to me.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Now, Kelsey actually has
totally
4-6 offsuit.
Art has raised it with ace-jack, and Kelsey's struggling with this call. I mean, Art doesn't have any money in front of him.
Yeah, it's an easy laydown, out of position. Your opponent has no money. Even if you get lucky enough and hit your hand, so many things have to go right for you to make money. And Art's going to take it down pre-flop. I just think, I think it's really easy to read a book or watch Live at the Bike, come into a game and play it really tight, and you can probably beat the $200 game. You might even be able to beat this game. But I think if you want to maximize your potential as a poker player, I think you've got to start adapting your game to your opponents.
Peculiar post here by Barry Woods on 2+2, saying that Allen used to be tight just prior to propping. Then when he became a prop, he even tightened up, but was on a losing streak. Wasn't able to play the games he wanted to. So now I think he's trying to play a little laggy. Having seen some others play that way, I think his reads are good mostly, but his starting hand selection, he's just south of my choices.
Well, in some ways I got to agree. I just don't understand. Yeah, well, he's calling a raise from Tyler with ace-jack off
no,
suit,
I know, but that was
and then just throwing it away.
No, but that was kind of the one mistake. I mean,
he also called 4 deuce of spades.
Well, I mean, we saw him fold ace-queen. I still think he's one of the tight. I don't think he's loosened up pre-flop. I don't know. I understand
what you're saying. No, you're 100% right. Tonight, though, we've seen in about a little over an hour, we've seen him make a couple of questionable calls pre-flop. But yeah.
I mean, I just took that post by Barry Woods to say, to seem like Barry said, probably thought of himself that he was tighter than Allen. Popped a big question mark in my head.
It's funny, Barry Woods the last 2 or 3 weeks has played it really tight, hasn't he?
He has, except when but he loves to get involved with Mike.
Right.
Obviously,
I mean, I got to tell you, I love getting involved with Mike, too. But if you notice, if I'm playing against Mike, most of the time that I'm going to get involved with Mike, I am going to be in position against him. I don't want to be out of position against a player that's aggressive and pretty good.
Limped around her. 5-way action. King Jack 3 here on the flop. Looks like we got Jack 6 and a free ride here for Francois. He's got the best hand.
50.
Aaron
but can he call Aaron? Aaron's got nothing.
Probably not. I mean, I probably just don't get involved here with Jack 6, do you?
Yeah, what can you beat?
Yeah.
I mean, even if your opponent is betting Queen 10, how do you know where you're at?
Yeah. Again, you can become our friends on MySpace. Head over to myspace.com/live at the bike and become our friends.
So who's World Cup tomorrow?
Ukraine.
Argentina tomorrow? Or they already
I
played?
just had the schedule up a second ago. Argentina's already played.
There
is another
they won
first
2-1.
game. First group game.
One more group tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I believe. And then Trinidad and England, man, the next day. Can't wait for that game. Go Stern John.
Yeah, another easy win for England. So walk into the second round. And then following day, obviously, U.S. gets thrashed by Italy.
Oh, man. Well, that's on Saturday.
What do you think that'll be? 2-0, 3-0, 1-0? I mean, will the U.S. score in this tournament?
Well,
And that's the question.
I mean, you got to look at it. It's going to be tough to score against Italy. I thought
Right, exactly. So will the U.S. score in this tournament?
Tyler Ray's here with ace-queen and Eric Hall with king-jack of clubs.
Nice flop for Tyler. He's got top pair with the queen of hearts just in case it comes runner-runner. And obviously, Eric's got nothing here. Terrible flop for queen-jack, king-jack. And Eric's going to throw it away. Like I said, I'm actually rooting. I like U.S. I'm just a realist. Will they score? They might score 1 versus Ghana. Maybe a 1-1 draw versus Ghana.
I mean, I can't even say anything. I'd like to say you're full of shit,
But I'm not.
I don't know. I mean, I would just hope that one game would be anomaly. I mean, I would love to see the U.S. beat Italy from what they put forth. I don't see it happening, obviously. I mean, the chance.
Oh, what a stupid white man.
Really loose. There are some really loose nationality requirements to play on some of these teams. You get that English guy that plays for Trinidad in the second league because his mom was born in the capital of Trinidad.
Oh wow, okay.
Which I'm not getting off the top of my head. Porto, Spain, or something like that. 4-way action here was a straddle pot.
Yeah, so this is actually it's 5-way action, so it's $50 pot.
Yep.
Queen, deuce, 4, rainbow, and Gus has got top pair. A couple players have deuces. Actually, well, Tyler's got a deuce. Francois got a 4. Nobody else has got much of anything. And when it checks around to Gus, well, Tyler's going to take a shot at it. Tyler's got bottom pair here. and he bets $30 into the $50 pot. Now, if you're Gus, can you raise this? He's just going to throw it away. Wow, what respect.
I don't mind the laydown.
That's amazing.
But look at this. Francois is going to call with the 4. Well, wait a minute. He's going to raise. He's going to make it 125 to go.
No, I don't mind the laydown either, but it's just amazing respect that Tyler has at this table. He
Well,
just
if you've
seems to
been
breathe. He breathes on the pot and everybody throws it away.
If you've been paying attention, would you call with Queen 10 or Queen Jack against Tyler there?
I know Tyler's a pretty good player. I know Tyler can make moves.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. He's not Dr. Beebe.
Right.
He's not Kirk. Okay? He makes moves. In fact, earlier tonight, we were playing in the game, and I'll tell you the hand really quick. The flop came out 9-7-6. I had bottom 2. I had 7-6. I bet right into Tyler. Tyler raised me a little bit. I smooth called. The turn came out of 4. Didn't change anything. And I bet again into Tyler. And he raised me again. And then I threw away 2 pair very easily.
Yeah.
But I know he can make a move. I also know he will raise with a hand. You know, he can raise with a pair and a straight draw, something like that. Probably wouldn't raise 2 times, though, which is why I threw away 2 pair.
That's why it's better. Why you feel like this, man?
Email here from Daniel Phelps asking about what the reaction was from Corporation Mike when he got that beat from Paul.
I didn't see it, but I can imagine there was some card ripping.
Banging of the table.
Yeah,
I was not there. I'm getting the second hand.
probably banging of his chest.
Raise here by Kelsey with ace-queen suited. Francois is going to call with an ace-rag suited. And Art is in there with 7-10 of clubs.
Yeah, Francois in his gambling mode, you can tell.
Well, again, I sometimes wonder. I do have respect for his game. I wonder sometimes people come on the show to advertise kind of as loose players. Well, Kelsey checked the flop. He's picked up the nut flush draw now on the turn. But Francois picked up a pair. So I don't necessarily know Francois is going to go anywhere. And
Well, he's
Kelsey
gonna
checks
bet.
it again.
Yeah, and Francois is going to bet it. And Kelsey's put himself in a spot now. Is he going to call? My thought always is if your hand is good enough to call, why not be the better? And Art's going to take one off here. He's got a gut shot straight draw.
Got shot in the 9, and the 9 of spades is no good. And
And
Kelsey
that's
does
gonna
check
keep-
call.
Well, that's going to bring Kelsey in. Now another player brought in as well.
Now, Kelsey does not want to see an ace hit because that would make Francois have aces up. An ace is not one of his outs, and he
But
makes
how about
the
a king of
nuts here.
spades?
Makes the nuts on the river. The pot is about 200. So how about a nice $125 bet here by Kelsey? I mean, Francois can't beat much.
Now, it's funny. If you think Francois was on a bluff, you almost want to check to him to induce a bluff again. But if Francois had a piece of it, like a 3 or
Yeah.
6, you'd probably
I'm
almost
not-
want to bet into it.
I don't ever really want to bet, especially with Art in the hand where I think I might be able to get a call with any piece.
If
I'm
if he's got a 6
I'm
or an
always
8.
going to bet here for 3-handed
Yeah.
here.
No,
on the
more
river.
likely
Yeah.
you are going to bet.
Yeah.
And he's going to bet what looks like $200 here. And I like the bet. I think if you're going to get a call, you're going to get a call no matter what. In this case, you're probably not going to get a call in either spot. I mean, this is one of those times I think you can safely say that Kelsey either has made spades, backed into spades, or he's got nothing at all, right? You wouldn't imagine he'd be in there with, say, a hand. Remember, he raised pre-flop, and he checked it and checked it. Would he bet ace-king here?
Would he check, call, over call on the turn with the hand as weak as ace king?
Well, that's what you mean. I mean, you got to start thinking of the hand that he might check, call, and now he's betting. To me, he's either made something. He's either made backdoor spades, or he's got nothing at all, and he's trying to buy the pot.
Email here from Bernie McIntyre saying, how do you guys keep accurate records on your play? What do you guys record specifically? I've been really bad about it. I would like to start fresh. Is it too late?
Never too late.
And what do you think about Barry Greenstein's book? Well, two-part question there. I mean, some of the things I record, obviously I record my session hours, I record the game, and I record my, my positive or negative net. Yeah. That's just about all you really need to record, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll write some notes in there as well. But, yeah, generally speaking, I will write down the casino I played in, the game I played in, how many hours I played, and what I was either net up or net down for that game. And then, obviously, there are some notes I might write in there, Note, Bart tried to bluff here, or maybe I bluffed and these guys saw my bluff.
Right.
You know, if I like the flop, I'm move on.
Francois raised here with pocket eights. Eric is called with Jack-10 offsuit. And Art is called in position with 9-10. So we're 3 ways here. Well, Eric's open-ended, and Art flops the best hand. 2 overcards to 8. Francois going to fire. And Eric is going to bet right in with the open-ended straight draw. I like the bet. He does it with the queen. He does it with the set. He does it with 2 pair. He does it with the semi-bluff.
Yeah, it's real tough to continue if you're Art or Francois.
Yeah.
And Eric's going to take it down. Nice semi-bluff by him. And a 7 and a deuce on the turn and river.
Yeah.
Eric would not have gotten there, but he earns himself the pot.
Again, it brings back to what you said about Kelsey, that last hand. If you bet, you add fold equity as opposed to checking calling. The only thing that I might throw out to you is that maybe what Kelsey says is that I don't want Francois to raise me on the turn. I bet and Francois raises me with nothing because I don't want to be raised off my draw. I mean, how do you counter that?
Yeah, I understand what he's saying there,
Yeah.
but you've got to realize that on the flop, it checked around. Why on the turn would you think Francois would suddenly bet in position when a 6 came out? What is scary about a 6 of spades? I mean, unless Francois backed into a set of 6s, which is pretty unlikely.
Eric has raised up here to 20, king jack offsuit. Francois called with 6-4, jack 9 of hearts for Art, and Alan's in there with 9-10.
Now, Alan is, Alan checks blind.
Flop flush here for Art.
Now, this is one of those great times where if Art bets his hand the whole way, maybe he gets called by Eric the entire way.
Now, Eric is going to lead out. He's got the king of hearts in his hand.
And look at Francois. Francois's got the straight flush draw, open-ended straight flush draw.
And he immediately calls.
Eric's got very few outs here. Now, normally you'd have 9 outs to the win, but in this case, Alan's got the 10 of hearts, Francois's got the 6 of hearts, there's 2 hearts in Art's hand, and the 7 of hearts or the deuce of hearts actually gives Francois the straight flush.
And Art is going to raise it up right away. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, he's real loose pre-flop, but he's been raising with, at times, that he probably should raise.
I think Francois might push here. I really do.
I mean, there's no fold equity. Art doesn't have anything left over there.
Yeah, I don't know if Francois is going to go anywhere. The pair and an open-ended straight flush draw. It's hard to put somebody on a flush when they raise right away.
I think for Eric here, you can't call with the king of hearts, second nut, with the guy in between out of position.
But he calls.
Wow, that's really surprising.
And Francois is going to put his money in, I think. Well, actually, does he have hundreds there?
Yeah, I think he said he was going to raise. He's trying to play it like maybe he flopped the nut flush draw here. But, I mean, like I said, Art's not going anywhere, Dave.
Well, if you don't put somebody on a made flush,
Yeah.
6-4 is a pretty big hand here. Remember, he's got open-ended straight flush draw with a pair. Obviously, in this one case, he's in terrible shape. And unless Art gets really unlucky,
Yeah.
he's going to win a huge pot.
I mean, Francois is drawing to 2 outs here. He needs the deuce of hearts or the 7. So Art makes the call. And again, though, I mean, it's playing almost like Francois flopped the nut flush. Eric probably shouldn't have called the raise out of position, drawing to the second nut anyways.
By the way, Eric only has 2 outs, too. The ace of hearts and the queen of hearts. That's it. That's all that's left. No, I'm sorry. Ace, queen, and 8. That's it. Nothing else is good. I can't imagine Eric calling this. Eric, you could be drawing dead. I mean, couldn't Francois have the ace of hearts in his hands?
And Art is really good here unless Francois gets super lucky.
Yep. In this case, obviously, Francois 2 outs and 2 outs only.
Turns a 9.
No? I need a 4 then. You got more than a 4 then.
Rivers an 8. Jack 9 is good there.
Not going to do it there. Art takes down with the flush.
Another hard idea. Good hand, I want to play heads up. I can call 100. I have straight flush draw. But
That was a good thing.
I don't want to play against you. If you hit the heart, then he has the best hand. But if another heart comes,
And obviously did not make a difference. Francois saying he didn't want to play it. He didn't want that. He didn't want Eric in as well, thinking maybe his flush was good if he hit it.
Button moves over here to seat 8. We've got a little over an hour left in the show.
And post there by Demad Monks says, Tuck, if you're going to go up on a tangent, how about the damn Mets? Beltran, player of the week, outscored Zona 10-9 by himself at the weekend. I got to tell you, man, I like baseball, but it's June. I'm not really going to focus on baseball until, like, August. When it comes down, like, I mean, what are we at, like, in game 75 right now, 74, of a 162-game season? I mean, there's just so much other stuff going on in sports right now between the World Cup and the NBA and hockey's finals and tennis.
Michael raised with ace-7 of diamonds. Art called. Alan called. And Eric is going to re-raise there with some dead money with the ace-queen out of position.
come on, birdies.
And I assume Michael is going to get out here with the ace-7 of diamonds. He does. That's probably going to get everybody out. I mean, Jack-10 suited, you might take that heads-up in position against a blind raiser. Remember, we talk about what you can represent, but Eric's not deep.
No.
There's just nothing to win there. There it is.
Now, if you want to go off on a tangent, we can start talking about adult party poker. Who we are sharing a table with down at the World Series Rio World Series of Poker Lifestyles Convention. We'll be sharing a table with them. We're also shooting a little promo spot with them on July 2nd, which is a Sunday. And then we'll be there with them for 5 days. And I'm trying to push our marketing director, Kelly O'Hara. I know she's arranging housing for us while we're down there.
Party.
Well, I was trying to tell her, I was like, instead of getting hotel rooms, I go, it might be cheaper and a little more fun if we just get a big old house. For all of us, including the adult party poker girls, of course.
Right.
I'm willing to sacrifice. I can share my room.
Really? I thought you were staying with your wife, like at the Black
No,
House.
she'll be in Boston.
Oh.
Poor pity me. She's got her best friend's wedding, actually, on July 31st.
Oh.
Or July 30th, actually.
Lived around here 5 ways. And she's not dragging you to the wedding? Or you just said you just can't go?
Well, yeah, I mean, wow, look at that. Flop ace-6-6. Kelsey's got
sixes. Yeah.
Now, nobody's got an ace, but Eric's going to bet it anyway. No, actually, I think they're playing the pair game.
Playing the pair game.
Okay.
And I was going to call it.
That's why they were cheering.
Ace-6-6 with a couple of diamonds. And Kelsey checked it from up front.
Now you can win the pot, too.
Actually, Kelsey did not check. Eric checked it. Kelsey's going to bet $20. And I like the bet. I really do. Put a little money in there, see where you're at right away. And nobody's going to call him. Yeah, we got invited to this wedding, and I was actually really looking forward to going. But it being July 30th, and I love the Boston area in the summer. It's right near Cape Cod. It would have been really cool. But July 30th, I mean, it's right at the heart of the World Series. Since I'm planning and playing the main event, my wife was actually really cool about it. She was like, "Go." She's like, "I can't expect you to be at the wedding." So. But that's a tangent we can go into.
You can't handle a lot of kids. You can't handle big stats.
Nice email here from Dr. Allen saying that he's just started he's been watching a bunch of the archives, and Dave, you and I have come so far in the last year, 2 years, since where we were, say, if you watch a show a year ago. Because we really were limit props last year. We didn't have a whole lot of
Hey, you've really improved.
Cash. Yeah. Well, I should add the most experience in the booth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've really improved. I mean, I actually looked back at those last April. You weren't very good then, but now you're excellent. Really quite good.
Interesting how they just keep, turning those color guys over with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's amazing.
In and out and in and out.
Yeah, in and out and in and out. who else is out and who's in? Is there somebody else that comes in here?
Bet out here by seat number 9. I think he had ace-8 and he's going to take it down. And he still thinks the bike should stake us for final table tournaments for publicity stake. I like that idea.
I agree, yeah. Read the email verbatim here. Anyway, I still think the bike should stake you in final table tournaments for publicity stake. In fact, just $2,000 for each final event can get one of you to travel to the final event in time for the Super Satellite and make you win your seat. If you make a single final table over the course of a year, whammo. Cash in for the casino in terms of mega publicity. Yeah, I can't agree with you more.
I got to tell you, they're kind of missing out a little bit. They're pulling me out from one of the tournaments that's televised in the World Series.
Yeah,
I got to shoot a commercial here.
Very short-sighted.
That's one shot there for the show to get bigger.
I don't do that often.
Limped around here, and Francois is going to raise it up here with pocket 6s.
I mean, if it were up to, if up to our producers, obviously, they would probably put us in everything. But supposedly it's up to our point man. Point man is Ronnie McMillan, by the way.
Francois is going to take it down here with 6s.
I think there was about $100,000 allocated for tournaments for you and I. But Ronnie supposedly has put himself in the $50,000 horse event. Button moves over to seat number 3. Once again, the small blind's $5. The big blind is $5. And Art is going to be under the gun. He's first to act.
King 10 of clubs over here for seat. Now, we have not seen Aaron play many hands, Dave.
No, but we always talk about no limit hold'em. You don't have to play that many hands
Yeah.
to win a lot of money.
Thank you again, Dr. Allen.
Yep,
Kind
do
words.
appreciate it.
Four-way action here. Well, that's a three flush here, all spades. Gus has got the second nut spade draw. Now, Francois got the nut spade draw. He's going to come out and bet with ace-9. He bets 20 here. Now, if you're Aaron, do you call one time? Do you raise? Do you fold? He's going to raise. He does not have a spade in his hand. He makes it 80.
And once again, sometimes by raising there, you kind of freeze your opponent. You're in
And
position.
Francois going to come back over the top with the ace.
Well, Francois is in a gambling mood today. He really is. And he's really just got a naked flush draw. That's all he got. But can Aaron continue? You know, we see that Francois is gambling, but does the table see it? How many hands has he really shown down?
Well, he's going to move all in, and Francois beats him in the pot.
Well, once Francois raises, he's
Yeah.
pot committed here. And Francois needs a spade and only a spade. Obviously,
Well,
an ace,
would be
also.
good as well.
Thank you.
Turns a deuce. Spade or an ace here. No good. King 10's going to take it down.
I'm done.
And Francois, we say goodnight to him. Didn't get it going. Now, I got to tell you, now you were saying how you took a shot in this game and you were kind of trying to like try the Mike, Corporation Mike style.
Yeah,
Seeing
late
how
on Wednesday night
Seeing how
last
that
week.
laggy style was working.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think this game is conducive to a gambler like that. I just don't think that. I think a lot of the players in this game, they watch too much World Poker Tour. They're not deep enough where the fear of losing money is in there. You know what I mean?
Well, because it's, a finite amount of money. I mean, it's just, like you said, the stacks just aren't that deep.
Exactly. So you can't really run this game over. I just don't think you can. One of the reasons why I think if Mike would play this game, I think he would lose very often.
Well, it's funny, though. I mean, he said he used to play in this game, and he did well.
30 more.
$30 got a raise here. Buy seat 5.
But how many hours has Mike really put in this game? Maybe, what,
yeah.
50 hours? Can't judge 50 hours, can you? Now, talking about keeping records of your play, I don't know any winning players that don't keep records.
Well, if you take your poker really seriously, it's definitely a necessary element. You have to keep records because you have to look at the trends and how you're playing. Trying to figure out your hourly, how many hours you need to play. If you start playing a lot during the week, does your hourly go down, say, in the last 30 or 40 or 50 hours
Yeah,
at the end of the week?
You've also got to realize one of the reasons we've got pocket aces here in it for Aaron here is going to raise it up. It looks like it's
Gonna make it
50 bucks. And he raises pretty big, and now he's pretty deep. I don't mind this raise.
Well,
I really
now,
don't.
Mike's got king-queen offsuit in position. He's struggling with this one.
Yeah, I think it's an easy laydown. I really do. Against a pretty tight player's raise in first position. And he's going to throw it away. Nice laydown by Michael.
By Michael.
Anyway, I was going to say, one of the things that I really like about keeping records is I like the fact that it forces me to be accountable to myself. I have to write down my losses. Now, nobody likes to be honest with themselves and write down losses, but it forces you to because you want to keep accurate records. And when you sit there and you start writing down losses and wins, but if you write down the losses, it kind of keeps you in check, keeps you responsible for
Well, I
yourself.
was always amazed, some of the props that we used to work here, Dave, that we knew on a day-in, day-out basis, they didn't even keep records. They're like,
No.
at the end of the month, if I'm up, and I was always amazed by that. Eric's got ace-king offsuit. He's going to bring it in for a raise, and Michael's got jacks here.
Now, I think this hand is definitely good enough to at least call. Now, these players are deep enough.
He's going
Well, he's deep enough. I think you can put a little raise in there. Not necessarily pot committing yourself, but you can limit the field behind you. And he's going to make it 50 more, it looks like.
70 total.
Yep, it went from 20 to 70. And if you're Eric, you're in a tough spot here. Ace-king out of position.
Yeah, no value really if you hit the ace or king, except maybe in a little bit of a check raise, whatever Mike bets the flop if you check to him.
I mean, if I'm in position, oftentimes I will call with ace-king. If I'm out of position, I might just throw this away. Maybe that's too tight, but I might just throw that hand away.
And we're heads up here. Ace-king against jacks. How about top set here from Michael? Now, Michael actually might check this. I've seen him do it before. He did it in the first hand of the show. This time he's in position, and he was the re-raiser. And he's going to bet. I don't really mind the bet, because if Eric's got maybe queens or kings, you never know.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't put Eric on queens or kings. He's probably going to repop you if he's got queens or kings.
I never really mind betting your hand. I mean, I know you can manipulate some things in this game because Eric's kind of short. There could be a case where you might check to let him catch up, but it just seems so peculiar. I would think even if Eric caught a king or an ace on the turn and he bet and Michael moved all in, Eric probably shouldn't call. You see what I mean? It just,
It's a raise and a re-raise,
Yeah.
a jack 5 deuce flop, and this guy doesn't bet into it.
Yeah.
A little odd. Sometimes you want to give your opponent the chance to check raise. I mean, if there was a time to slow play, maybe you give him a card there. But nothing ever wrong with betting. Yeah, I'll say it again. I don't know. Most players, I'm going to go on a limb and say most players that don't keep records are probably losing players.
Obviously, they're
they take their poker seriously. They're trying to improve, you mean? Or just in general.
I think in general.
Yeah.
I think most players, well, in general, most players that play poker are losing players, right? You think about it. What percentage of the time do you think you need to win, or what percentage of how much out of $100 do you have to win just to beat the rake?
Right. Kelsey's raised it up here with ace-king. And Michael is now called with king-9 of clubs. He is dominated. But it seems like Michael is savvy enough where if he catches a king, he's not going to commit a lot of money. Well, Kelsey's hit the ace. Now, Michael's hit second pair here.
Yeah, this should really go just bet, fold,
Yeah.
right? Now, I got to tell you, you think about it. Let's say the casino, or even if you're playing online, you think about the rake, what you pay for hourly. Now, you have to beat that game for that hourly rake just to break even.
Right.
Now, how many people can actually do that just to break even and now actually make money? I would say it's not that many.
Michael's not going to hit anything here, I don't think.
I mean, I think if you ask a lot of people, hey, are you a winning player? They say, I'm about even for the year. Do you keep records? No.
Well, I was wondering if Tyler, again, might call with a hand as weak as 7-8 there to represent hearts, or just see what Kelsey does on the turn if he has an ace. Maybe represent and bet him off of it.
Now, talking about game selection sometimes, is this a game that you would really jump into? I mean, there's really no weak spot. You look at this table here. Eric's pretty solid. Kelsey pretty solid. You know, you got Michael in seat 5 who doesn't seem to be making any mistakes. Tyler in seat number 7 playing very well. Alan and Aaron there. You know, the game looks pretty solid there. Gus, obviously, he's having a bad night tonight, but he's a pretty good player in his own right, too. This isn't a table I would jump into.
Again, you can email us at Live at the Bike and submit your hand for the video blog that we film on Thursday if you get the hand in by the end of Wednesday night's show. In the subject, title it Hand for Blog, and it will be considered to be used as one of our hands in the video blog, which will be up on Friday morning.
Be as specific as possible when you're talking about it. I mean, everything. Even to the point where, I mean, let's say your opponent's girlfriend is sitting behind him. Little things like that really give you some information.
Checked around here on the flop, turns a 4. Kelsey's got the best hand here with a pair of 4s.
I think we got Walt on the table.
And they're going to chop it up here. Eric and Kelsey both with pair of 4s here. Both players have 4s and 3s with queen kicker. And they're going to chop it up. I mean, I'll tell you, I really think that sometimes you can actually pick up on those things. The more I play poker, the more I pick up on these little things. If somebody is sitting behind you, and let's say it's your wife or your girlfriend, and you share the same bank account, I guarantee you that player will probably play a little bit better and not gamble as much because they don't want to have to show down an awful hand with their wife sitting behind them. Little things like that you can really pick up on.
Walt's coming in the game in seat 4, action Walt. Now, I know you don't really like people behind you. Do you I might have asked you this before. Do you sometimes allow your wife to peer in?
Yeah, my
You're not-
wife can do whatever she wants.
No, but I mean, you're not afraid that she's going to give off anything like in the higher games? No.
15.
Seat 6 here is Art is going to raise with Jack 8 offsuit. Allen calls the suited connector, and Aaron's going to come back over the top here with Ace King. And I really like the re-raise against Art, because Art has really been bringing these hands in with a lot of stuff that's not premium. I guess he's got Jack 8.
Aaron's also in position.
Art's going to call. Might that bring Allen in now? It was kind of just a mini raise. He calls. Allen and Aaron are both deep. Now Allen is out of position.
How deep is Allen now, though? He's lost a lot of his chips.
$180 pot here. Ace, king, queen. Aaron's got top 2.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, obviously, in this case, Aaron's going to bet and everybody's going to fold, right? We know that. Maybe Art takes one off, who knows. But if you're playing against a really, really good player, and it's a raised pot, and you have ace-king, and you're taking heat from your opponent, let's say you're in a hand against Paul, our seasoned turkey, and you have ace-king, and you're taking heat against him.
Yeah, on this board?
On this board. How much do you like your hand?
Art is bet here with Jack-8, and Aaron is just going to move in. And with these stack sizes, don't mind the play, because, I mean, Art only really has about 250 left.
No, obviously, when you're short stacked, the decision is all taken out of you. If the guy has Jack-10, or if the guy has a set of queens, hey, man, all the power to you. Here's my money.
I'm going to tell you, the one hand that's been costing me a lot of money kind of goes to this flop. I've been limping in a lot with the Jack-10s off suit and suited under the gun, then a raise, and then 2 people or 3 people calling, and me calling. And I actually lost maybe $250 for that hand, playing it from up front 4 times today. It's really a tough hand to play.
Well, it's very almost every hand is tough to play out of position. Yeah, now Aaron's all in here, and Art's, he's got a gut shot. He's got nothing else going for it here. Pretty easy laydown, I got to tell you. But, I mean, this is the hand I'm gonna ask you about it, Bart. I'm going to ask all our viewers about it. Let's say you have ace-king. You are in Aaron's spot. This is the exact flop. Your opponent bets into you, okay? You raise. Let's say you're both $5,000 deep. He bets 150 into you. You raise it up to, say, 400, and now he comes back over the top for 1,200. What do you do with ace-king here if the player who re-raised you is a very, very good player?
Right.
What do you do with ace-king here? Is it anything more than a bluff catcher?
Well, it's funny you use the example Paul, because, Paul actually might make a move. Jack-8 still is not full in the hand, but I assume he is going to, and he does.
Definitely, but,
yeah.
I mean, what hands can you, I mean, maybe he makes the move with, say, a hand like Queen-10 of clubs, Queen-Jack of clubs, but you've got to realize that he's not giving you that much action with ace-queen. He knows there's a chance you could have ace-king.
Right. Oh, obviously, ace-queen, or
So
bottom 2 with king-queen.
Right, he knows there's a chance you have him beat.
Now, the only problem, though, is say, like, I'm going to really be that in that spot. I'm going to give you a lot of heat, and you have ace-king. And I'm doing it with queen-jack of clubs. I have to always also remember, though, that board probably hits you big. And, I might get you off ace-king, but there's a chance you've got a set of kings or queens. So if you're going to be that player saying, I'm going to get a solid guy off that board, off of ace-king, you got to maybe sometimes know you're betting right into a set, right?
Now, Michael's got ace-king here again. He's going to bet $35 right away. He's going to raise it up 35. I'm not sure if anybody's going to call him. Doesn't look like it. No. Now, my only question there is now if somebody bets 1,200 into you and it's Paul, you've got to realize he knows that flop could have hit you big. He knows you're not going to lay down a set. Could he be in there with a set of queens or Jack-10, and could you almost be drawing dead?
Right.
Obviously, you'd be drawing the 4 outs. You need an ace or a king.
Email here from Bill Momberger here again. He says, I have to comment on soft-playing friends at the table. I think soft-playing specific table opponents is a disgrace to the game of poker in general, and is a shade of gray from collusion in the game. I've witnessed too many incidents of friends squeeze raising the opponent out of a hand, then checking down the later streets because they don't want to take each other's money. I always play as tough as possible, and my poker friends and I know this in advance. Win or lose, we respect the game and all of our opponents as we continue to learn. Your thoughts or comments? We actually went over that.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more, Bill. I mean, I don't understand when people do, when they slow play their friends. I got to tell you, I play with a lot of my friends, and I grew up playing home games with my friends where it's fun to take your friend's money. I mean, that's the person I want to beat.
Now, Kelsey has raised with ace-jack offsuit. Michael has Kelsey dominated, but he is out of position in the blind, and he calls with ace-queen.
Yeah, power of position here. Obviously, Michael's got the best hand, but...
Well, there's the ace.
Case-ace, by the way.
Now, this is interesting. I talk about it sometimes on the show. When you raise with ace-jack and you see a board like that, you might bet once and just pray to God your hand might be good, because you can't beat any real ace. You obviously can't beat 2 pair.
What about Michael? What can he beat? Only one hand, ace-jack. That's it, right? It's the only hand he can beat.
And he's got a check raise here. And again, we talk about it. You might not play it in this manner because I just don't know if you're going to get a lot of information. 'cause
And look at
Kelsey
that. And
calls,
Kelsey immediately calls.
beats him into the pot.
What do you do if you're Michael here?
This is what we talk about. Can you bet again with ace queen?
I got to tell you, if I have ace king here, I'm just probably I'm only going to be calling this guy.
I'm
Now,
surprised,
both players are real deep.
I'm surprised Kelsey's calling with ace jack. Well, the turn's a deuce, doesn't affect anything. And look at this, the check by Michael and a check behind by Kelsey.
Okay.
And the river's a 6.
Well, that check raise actually slowed it down there.
And
He's
it still might go check, check.
It does.
Yeah.
And ace
Neither
queen is
player
good.
were comfortable with their hands. Once Michael check raised and was called by Kelsey, again, we talk about the apparent scare that goes through your head. And it's like, oh, man, I can't beat anything. And what you had said earlier, you know, I think you sometimes automatically think, well, if a guy check raises me, they're forced to bet into the turn. Sometimes they don't, just like Michael did right there. I think maybe
Right.
sometimes somebody check raises, and if the guy calls, if they're doing it as a bluff, they might just be done with it. And if not, they might just check.
Of course, obviously they could check on the turn. Doesn't change anything in the sense that if Kelsey wants to, he can bet there. You still have the action. You're not checking and then he's going to check behind you.
Right.
You're in position. We talk about obviously sometimes raising on the flop actually can control pot size. And in that case, the raise scared both players enough that was it.
Three-way action here. Limped around, king 4-5.
Nice email here from Anthony Lazardo. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, about Freddie Deeb. We'll check it out.
Yeah, I guess that's in the new card player. Eric's got king 10. He's going to bet. I have the new card player in my bag. I haven't taken a look at it. No, not the Eli Ezra one.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
What did it come out today? Yesterday?
Yeah, it's got the commissioner of the World Series of Poker.
Oh. Well, chip count there. Chip count gone. Little tease there. Hope you guys caught that.
Button moves here to seat 5.
How many hands does Tyler play tonight? I mean, I guess that's the reason he gets all the respect. He doesn't play any hands.
Pocket King's going to bring this one in for a raise in seat 9. Makes it 50 to go. Another big raise. Well, Eric's going to call with Jack 10 of hearts. Eric just doesn't have enough money, Dave. Unless he's got hundreds in front of him, it looks like he only has about 250 in front of him. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
to
not
call
sure.
off 25% of your stack with Jack 10 of hearts.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're deeper in position, obviously, but
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I like Jack 10 suited in position. It makes
What do they
the
call
nuts
10%?
straight.
No, it's 25%.
25%, yeah.
Yeah, that's too much.
And we're heads up.
Well,
Oh, he's got a flush draw with overs.
no, I'm assuming the money's going in here. I can't imagine Eric getting away from it here. Yeah, and Eric's going to move in.
And you have to call with an overpair with these stack sizes. Aaron calls. Turns at 10. Well, Eric's got more outs here. He gets 2 pair or a flush.
Not gonna happen.
Not going to happen there.
And Aaron doubles throw.
And of course, the power of Jack 10, obviously, when you're deep, is if somebody is bringing it in for a raise, especially if it's a tight player, if you make that Broadway straight, it has hit them in a big way. We talked about ace, king, queen there. It's hit them with a 2 pair. It's hit them with a set, maybe top set,
Right.
some sort of set.
Well, the power of Jack 10, obviously, anytime you make a straight using both of your cards,
Yeah.
it's always the nuts.
Right.
It's always the nuts straight, that is. Another physical tell, obviously, and the only reason I'm going on this is we got that email about physical tells. Anytime somebody moves in that quickly, I don't put him on a set or 2 pair. I put him on something that it's a no-brainer move in, which is pretty much a high flush draw.
Let's take a look at another chip count here. We've
Yeah, let's
got $6,600 on the table.
Look at Aaron now. Aaron is really on fire.
Yeah.
Up to 1750. Yeah, and he just won that pot. He was actually over 2,000. Let's see how they're doing. There it is. Aaron now probably up 1,500. Kelsey up 600. Allen up 220. Gus is still down almost $1,200, and now Eric is probably down close to 750, 800.
What's limped around, Tyler's going to raise it out of the small blind here with 8s. Gus is going to call in position with queen, jack, offsuit. Michael is not going to call, and we're heads up here.
Now after this hand, I really want to get back to that physical tell. Ooh, 2 pair and a
top,
set of 8s.
Top 2 against bottom set here. Talk about poker overhead. It might all go in.
Yeah, this is the Surf and Illini Jeff Klein thing. You
Yeah.
get top 2 versus bottom set. What are you going to do?
Heads up. Tyler's going to bet out.
Oh, and poor Gus here. You know, Gus has done nothing wrong here, but he's probably going to go broke.
I mean, I'd imagine Gus is going to raise here. It's very connected. If the guy's got aces or kings, a whole bunch of stuff could scare him on the turn.
Exactly. You don't want a 9 or 10 to come off or a spade to come up to scare him. And this is one of those cases now. There's always a question now, how do you want to play it? Now, this is what I'm... Last time we saw Eric move all in right away with the flush draw. But Tyler, look at him thinking through because he has a set, and there's different ways to play it.
Gus only has 200 left. There's no decision here. It's a push here by Tyler. I can't imagine
it's an easy
he's going to
push.
do anything here.
Especially because you're out of position.
Yeah.
You don't want to check and then give him the free card.
And he moves all in.
And Gus is going to call, and Gus needs a queen or a jack, or he's going to lose.
I mean, in a restricted buy-in game, this is just clear-cut. What are you going to do?
There's nothing you can do about this one. And there's too many draws out there. You can't put your opponent on a set of 8s. It's too easy for Tyler to have king 10. Tyler could have...
How about kings or aces, too? You still might
Kings
push.
or aces. He could also have ace, king of spades here.
Yeah.
Gut shot plus the spades.
Well, Gus has not called yet. He's thinking it over. But, I mean, the pot is like 700, 200 for him to call. I would imagine he's going to lay this down.
Yeah, you have to think of all the possible hands that Tyler might have here. And of all the hands he has, you only lose to 2. You're losing the 9-10, and you're losing to a set of 8s. And that's pretty much it. Hard to put him on a set of jacks or queens here.
If Tyler had aces or kings here, there's 2 moves for him. It's either a push or a fold. And it's not that out of the ordinary that he pushes.
No, not at all.
So I can definitely put him on that range a few times, aces or kings.
What about ace, king of spades?
Yeah.
How about ace, jack of spades? A whole bunch of hands he could have here. King 10, I mean, who knows? I just don't see how he can get away from this.
Gus has not had a good night, but he's done nothing wrong this hand.
No, obviously, nothing he can do wrong. I'm talking about running it more than once, and I don't think it's allowed in this game. Now, I won't say anything.
Yeah, well, if no one says anything...
The pot is big enough that if these guys really want to run it more than once, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I always think it's kind of a player-to-player thing.
No. 2 8? You mean you have 3 of them? I have 7 8.
Yeah, I have 2 8s. Now, I have better than just 2 8s. And are
Turns
they
to
going to
10.
run it?
I don't think so. River's a 5. I think Eric objected, so...
Okay. That's going to be it. Well,
and the
probably would not have made a difference anyway.
The reason why we don't run in the smaller games is just because it takes too long, obviously. I don't want to start doing that in the 200 to 100 and 3 to 5.
Players will start doing it in a $40 game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all in for $16. You want to run it 3 times?
Right.
You know, I don't want to demean. Obviously, money is all relative, and it means a lot to other players, but obviously you got to realize the more hands that a casino can get in, the more money they make, and they've got to be looking out for themselves, too.
And it's always so confusing. Again, I'm thinking about writing a formula for the floor. When you run it 3 times, Dave, everybody knows if a guy wins twice and the other guy wins once, the guy who wins it twice wins 2/3 of the pot and 1/3 of the guy's stack. The confusing thing happens when somebody wins it twice and the third one is chopped. It's really simple.
You want to hear
People
something
don't
laughable?
understand it, though.
Something laughable.
What?
That other casino in L.A., just a few minutes away from us, actually, in terms of running it more than once, they only allow you to run the river more than once now, and they only allow you to run it twice.
Really?
And the reason for it is because the dealers were getting confused and screwing it up.
In the chopping portions.
Exactly.
I mean, when
three was too much.
If you run it 3 times and the guy wins it twice and there's another chop, the guy who wins 5/6 of the total pot and 2/3 of the other guy's stack as opposed to 1/3. If you run it twice and it gets chopped and you win 1, you win 3/4 of the pot and half the guy's stack. Really not that complicated.
No,
People just don't, you know.
And if you get really confused, it's not difficult. Just put all the money in the pot and then figure it out.
That other casino, the same other casino I'm thinking about, they only run it twice now?
And you can only run the river.
When did that start?
About a week ago.
Really?
Yeah, Paul, our seasoned turkey, told me about that.
Yeah.
You can only run the river twice. So that could get a little frustrating, obviously, if you're playing over there. Anyway, so I want to talk about tails a little bit. Sometimes, obviously, when you're playing on the internet, some people like to go by, I think they try to make tells by how fast somebody reacts or how fast somebody calls. But sometimes that can be a little faulty because, hey, I can be in the bathroom or I can be in the kitchen making myself a turkey sandwich and running back when the beep starts going. And somebody go, oh, he was thinking about it. No, I could have been somewhere else. But in a live game, obviously, you see what your opponent is doing. And oftentimes, like we saw the hand where Eric moved in there so quickly, I really think if Eric had a set or 2 pair, or better than kings in any way, I think he probably takes a little bit longer. and he thinks about how do I want to play this? I'm in position. Do I want to slow play it? Do I not want to? What do I do? How do I play it? But it was an immediate move in. So in that case, I think it's an immediate call by the Kings. I mean, I think you've got to know you're good there. And those are little things you can pick up on. One of the reasons why you really want to take the same amount of time with all of your decisions, whether you're even if you know you're going to move all in, you want to really take that time so your opponents don't pick up on it.
Art's going to bet out here with a pair of 4s. He has the best hand. He's going to bet 25. I don't think Walt's going to get involved here with ace-queen. He's thinking about it. I know, I forgot something to tell you. I wanted to bring this up at the beginning of the show.
Go ahead.
I assume Walt is going to fold here. Yeah. Jean Gluck, of course, Ms. Gluck on 2+2. She's been kind of posting around over in news, views, and gossip. And she started a thread last night saying that she was on Joe Average Poker, which I think is a radio show on Sirius. And KevMath responded in thread saying, why not appear on Live at the Bike? I'm sure you could handle playing 20-40 no limit or the 10-20 on Friday. And she said, I was in Vegas for 3 months. I just got back to L.A. I will try. It will be good practice for the World Series of Poker. Now, that comment, she might not understand that this is a cash game. But I responded and said, I have a seat, room for Liz Lou analysis right next to me here in the booth. And Tuckman, I want to kick you right out of here. Of course, those two girls, I think, are good friends of each other.
Just let me know when she shows up so I can actually call in and just not come. I'll go see a movie or something.
Love to have Jean Gluck and Liz Lou.
Yeah, of course, if Jean Gluck shows up, we will make room for her at the table, no matter what.
Pocket kings here for Kelsey. And Tyler's going to raise here. He's going to make, Eric is going to raise with Queen Jack here on the button. And let's see if Kelsey's going to come over the top right now.
Yeah, it's always interesting the way to play it with kings. You've got a couple of the players in there, and if that raise isn't big enough to drive them out, you might want to put a little bit of a raise in there yourself. And I'm not sure what just happened.
40.
Because he was on the phone.
Well, I thought Eric raised, but instead I guess he just folded. It's very peculiar.
Yeah, it was a strange little turn of events.
I don't know. I think maybe Eric got a call and Walt complained. Of course, we are on a delay, but I'm not sure. I don't really know what happened on the table. Yeah. Sometimes Walt actually rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you've ever played with him.
Well, he's not like Robert Roeder at all.
No.
But he is a little bit of a stickler for the rules. And sometimes, it's like the hall monitor when you're growing up.
Right,
the hall monitor can do that to you.
Right. I mean, he doesn't bother me all that much. He likes to argue with me. I was actually talking about...
According to Ronnie, he whines about everything.
Yeah. He was actually talking to me about how... I think he kind of got an attitude with me because I was talking about the big game. At the Bellagio, and I was saying how normally they don't play no limit, and when they do, it's a $100,000 cap.
Right.
And he's like, of course they play no limit. All those guys play no limit, because I was talking about GSN's high stakes poker. And I was telling someone at the table, a lot of those guys don't have a lot of experience playing live no limit cash games. They're big mixed games players.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. He's like, well, don't they play the big game? Isn't no limit hold'em in the big game? And I was like, no, not really.
No.
Yeah.
Predominantly, those guys are playing limit hold'em
Limit
and
mixed games.
And it's usually 6 or 7 different games.
Right.
Sometimes 4 games, but.
And for some reason, he took exception to that comment.
Well, how dare you?
I know.
What's wrong with you, man? Don't worry, Walt. We'll take him out and flog him.
Kelsey's going to raise it up here with King 7. Now, J-Ham there is posted up on 2+2 regarding, as Kelsey takes this down, the hand between seat number 5 and Dave when they both had ace-queen and ace-jack. He says clearly ace-queen should bet for value there on the river from up front.
Wow.
I mean, the only thing that you're going to get called by that you beat is ace-jack.
Can you get ace-queen off a hand? Is there any fold equity with ace-queen?
I mean, Kelsey's controlled the pot size in such a way where he's checked the turn. I think he's checking the turn to call the river. And that is his intention.
Would he check ace-king on the turn?
Right. I mean,
that's the question.
Some of the things that got to go through.
I mean, you got to start thinking about it going, well, you're not going to get ace-queen off. It's a value bet if he has ace jack, and it's you're giving money away if he has ace king.
I was just telling you.
I know a lot of players, and just, obviously I'm not sure if he's new to No Limit or not, but I know a lot of players that will smooth call ace king and even check the turn with ace king to control pot size.
Who cares? So what was the point? Following the rules or not following the rules?
There's the rules there by Walter.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Okay. Well, if I have a straight and you have a flush, I'm going to demand the pot, and I'll just call you a dick for enforcing the fact that flushes beat straight.
Nothing to do with the money, dude. I'm just sitting here, we're having a friendly game. You just show up, and I got up to answer the phone.
Right on the side there.
You know what? 3 people have done that tonight. Dude, it's like, chill out, man. Never do that.
Oh, I just sit back and laugh.
It's all right. You know, whenever there's a lot of money at stake, and you've got to realize, even though this is the biggest game,
Right.
we're still talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. A lot of money.
That's your point.
And, people get heated a little bit, and you wonder, if...
All I did was ask a question. You could have played your hand. I was folding. He raised anyway, and I folded. Well, I'm asking you what your point is. I was just saying what the rules were. I was just asking a question. You steamed off. What's your point? We shouldn't have any rules? Is that your point?
Boy, you really hit the nail on the head there with their comment, Dave.
Well said.
Obviously, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted
No, man. It was well worth shutting up for. John Dadson would be proud.
Four-way action here, limped around. Queen 5 deuce here on the flop. Looks like Aaron's got the best hand here with second pair to the board. He's going to come out and bet there with the queen on board. Not a bad bet, right?
It's a real nice bet, actually. It really is. It's an unraised pot. No reason to think somebody has a queen. You've got to realize, more often than not, nobody has hit the flop. A lot of dead money in there. If you can pick up 25 here, 30 there, 25 there, it gives you the ammunition to make a big bluff later on. It gives you the ammunition also to play it really tight and pick your spots later on, because that's kind of your hourly nut there.
Surfing the line and saying, now you know how I felt with the Gus hand. I mean, like I said, that Infinite One says it is overhead, especially with these stack sizes.
Yeah, definitely with the stack
Something
size.
you can do. Especially when the guy raises out of the blind and he's played it so tight, he's easily representing an overpair where he would push there to your raise. It's just
The only thing I want to throw out there for our fans, as you move up and as you play against better and better competition, you've got to realize that even 2-pair is vulnerable. And if you get really, really deep, and you have a hand like Ace Jack 5, and you're taking a lot of heat from a really good player, and you're both $10,000 deep, is Ace Jack, is that a good enough hand to go broke with?
right.
I mean, do you really think you'd get that much heat from your opponent if he had Ace King? You got to start thinking of what's going on in his head.
Looks like we had a raise here by, I believe, seat number 5, Michael. He raised it with pocket 4s. Now, Eric limped in with 6-5 of clubs, and Kelsey's got pocket 8s, and that's probably going to bring Dave in here as well. Dave Kelsey of West Wing fame. And here we go. 4-way action. Well, trip 5's here for Eric. See how he's going to play it. Sometimes Eric slow plays a little bit too much for my taste.
And this is one of the times if you bet right into Kelsey, you wonder if Kelsey calls with
Well,
eights.
Kelsey's not going to bet out with 8s, but Michael might think he's good here with 4s. He's the pre-flop raiser. He's going to bet.
And I got to tell you, if I'm Kelsey, I'd probably bet there. I want to get a little idea of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, once Eric calls, I think it's an easy fold for Kelsey. Or if Eric raises.
Depending on how much he calls, and depending on how deep these players are. Now, in this case, Eric doesn't have enough money to make the call. But I'll tell you that if you're in the big game and you've got $3,500, $4,000 behind, and a guy tries to kind of like finagle it and play it really slow, and you know he has a 5, I will call with my 8s and see if I can get
You
really
said
lucky.
Eric doesn't have enough money to call. You mean
No, Eric doesn't have enough money for Kelsey to call.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're talking about the fact that when a guy plays a check call in that manner, you know he has a 5, and if you're super deep, you actually might try to spike a 2-outer, knowing if your 8 comes, you've got all the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see.
It's one of those cases where if Eric, let's say a couple of people...
Kelsey's going to overcall.
Yeah, and
I'm really surprised.
I don't like this play because Eric doesn't have enough money. But if, let's say, it was like $50 and 2 people smooth called and everybody's $4,000 deep,
yeah,
You can toss in $50, see if it would hit your two-outer.
And that was a check raise there. That was a check raise by Eric. Kelsey calls, and Michael overcalls with pocket fours.
That's crazy.
The turn's a 6. Eric fills up. Oh, and he checked it. Wow. I got to tell you, I put a little pot builder bet. Well, he's only got 300.
How about the 7 of diamonds on the river?
Here we go to the river.
No.
The river's a deuce. I was going to say, I might throw a little $100 bet out there if I'm Eric. Because is he going to leave some money on the table here?
Well, now nobody's going to call him. Now it's pretty obvious what he has, isn't it? Screaming.
He's going to bet 200 here.
Kelsey can't beat anything, and I think Kelsey, I don't know, I mean, Kelsey probably not going to call the turn either.
I'm really surprised that Kelsey called the check raise.
Yeah, he can't beat anything here. Kelsey did pick up an extra out there, obviously. Then 8 comes on the river,
right.
Or the 7 of diamonds comes on the river. I think he gets all of Eric's money. I don't think Eric gets away from it. Well, actually, you can pretty much say there's no way he gets away from it.
I mean, have we ever seen Eric check raise a paired board from up front with a diamond draw?
Come on.
I mean, that's why.
Even if he has the diamonds, you can't beat diamonds.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, if Kelsey's trying to manufacture a hand on the flop that he's ahead of that he can call.
What hand can you manufacture that you can beat here?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
the board is 9-5-5, 2 diamonds.
Right. Have we ever seen Eric check raise with a diamond draw? He's too. I mean, I think it's a suicide move to do with a paired board out of position. I don't think I've ever seen Eric do it.
But the diamond draw got there.
No, but I'm saying on the flop. I'm not talking about the turn card.
On the flop. On the flop. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
That's the mistake.
Yeah. But I can't believe Kelsey was thinking about it on the river. What's he thinking about on the river?
And Eric shows it. On the flop.
No, definitely. It's an easy throwaway. I mean,
unless Eric had ace king of diamonds or something, I don't know. I think he might.
Or unless you're super deep.
Yeah.
Got a post there from Hey Guys who wants to know a little bit more information about the drifter in seat number 7.
Oh, nice.
Tyler. And I don't really know much about him except that, you know, he plays here once in a while. I know he's graduating from UCSD in a couple of weeks.
San Diego?
Yeah, economics major. Really nice guy, very good player. I saw him down in the Bellagio about a month ago.
The most useful degrees, right?
Economics?
Yeah.
I don't know, is it?
Somewhat.
Are you being
sarcastic?
Facetious? Okay.
Facetiously, yeah.
I don't think, are any degrees really that useful?
I guess not really, not any undergraduate degrees, except for maybe engineering or computer science. Everything is pretty much all the graduate level now these days.
I mean, I was a biology major.
Right.
I was a biology and theater major with a philosophy minor. What the hell does that mean?
7-way action here. Limped around. King, queen, 10 with a couple of diamonds.
Ooh, Art's got a straight.
Art's flop Broadway here on the button. Broadway, nut straight.
And Walt's got bottom 2 pairs. Walt's going to lose some money to Art here. Let's see how it plays out.
I mean, again, this isn't a hand that you might not want to go to war. And Ace-Jack checked it.
Oh, now it's a
diamond.
diamond.
A third diamond.
I can't believe everybody checked that. That's insane.
Man. Can't believe Walt checked it.
Yeah, that is crazy. Now, Art has got pretty much the nuts here. I mean, he's got the jack of diamonds in his hand as well. And it checks over to Art, and he's going to bet. And what's Walt going to do now with 2 pair?
He's just going to get away from it. A la like a little Avo that we saw from last Wednesday with the 8-9.
Hey, if you're going to play Queen 10 that way, nothing wrong with throwing it away in the turn. Anyways, that's pretty much all I know about Tyler. Seems like a good enough player, though.
My rant is,
go ahead and rant.
These days, and I went to a private college, and I spent $120,000. If I had it to do over again, or if I had kids now, if you are not going for a specialized undergraduate degree, which there are very few of, I don't understand what the point of is not going to a cheaper, good state school. I mean, everything is the graduate level now, Dave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
why go to a private school to major in political science at $130,000 when you can go to a school like, if you live in Virginia, if you can get into that school for $5,000?
No, I had a lot of friends that went to like SUNY Albany, which is State University at Albany.
Binghamton, right? Isn't that one of the good ones?
Yeah, and I have a couple of friends that actually went there, did well there, and went on to like Harvard Law.
Right.
You know, UCLA Law School.
Right.
Some of the top law schools in the nation.
And again, it's the law school factor. It doesn't matter where you went undergrad.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really.
You know? 4-way action here.
Well, I know when I applied for this job, they really looked at my GPA and everything from school.
King Jack 8 here with a couple diamonds. We had a raise pre-flop by...
Yeah, Kelsey actually raised it up with 4-7 of hearts.
In early position.
Yeah, really early position. Second spot.
And he's going to continuation bet. I mean, this is almost a desperation continuation bet with 3 people behind you, but I think it's going to get it done. I mean, no one has anything here. Diamonds, King Jack 8 on the flop.
You got to go to the 2+2 board. Is that true? Go up one. There you go. Talking about rules, and this is Kev Math. He says, for those of you who haven't seen it, episode 4 of the U.S. Poker Championships has Lance Funston asking a floor man if a flush beats a 3 of a kind, while John Juanda looks on stunned. And if you go to the World Series of Poker, expect to see some of that. I tell you, last year I played in a stud high-low event, and somebody actually turned their hand over and said, I have a jack low. Now, this is stud high-low, 8 or better. Now, this gentleman actually put forward $1,500 of his own money to play in this stud high-low event, hoping he could win a bracelet. And
did they have stud high-low satellites last year?
Yeah, they did.
Because now there's only one. I mean, they have really cropped the events down. I mean, now there's only one stud high-low event.
No,
$1,500.
really? I thought there was 2.
No, there's only one $1,500 one. That's it.
Are you kidding?
But there will probably be a lot of dead money because, of course, that is one of the cheaper events to get into.
Of course. I was actually considering playing in the. I know there's a $1,500 Raz event. I'm considering playing in it.
Yeah. Are you going to be down there at that time?
I don't know.
Raised here by Tyler. I got to tell you, Raz, the more I played that on Full Tilt during the horse tournaments, that is probably, I think, one of the most frustrating poker games because you can start so well. It's kind of like Study or Better. Start so well and then just hit break, and commit all your chips. You have to commit all your chips when you're drawing to an ace, 2, 4, 5 to a wheel here.
Right. You start off.
And some guys, douchebags, called you with 8, 7, deuce, 5, and he wins.
You start off something like ABC.
Yeah.
You catch a 6 or 7.
Right.
And then you catch you catch a king, you catch a 6. I mean, you catch pair up, and suddenly you have 2 pair and a king low, and you're going, great.
Right.
And the guy beats you with like a 10 low.
Right.
You just want to strangle yourself. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, there are 2 games they say if you are prone to going on tilt, Raz and Stud High Low are 2 games you should not be playing because there are games that are very conducive to going on tilt.
Big drawing games.
Extremely. Those are games where, it's funny when my wife was sitting behind me one day and I was playing Stud High Low. She's like, "Why are you always drawing in this game?" I go, "It's a drawing game."
Right.
I go, "Nobody can. You can't have a complete hand until 5 cards come."
Raised here by seat 6 to 25. 4 callers. Aaron's got a flush draw here on the button. Nobody has an ace. And Michael is going to lead out here with a pair of 8s. He bets 50. And he actually might have been the pre-flop raiser.
We're speculating here.
Yeah. Well, is Aaron going to call here? He's in position. This is a dryish flush draw. Well, it is a dry flush draw. But he is in position, Dave. And he just gets away from it. He does not even get involved. And again, you talk about how much is he actually going to get paid off there. Michael didn't even have an ace.
Yeah, exactly.
The flush is obvious. Now, Kelsey, he's got second.
Now, that's the only reason. Sometimes you can actually call with that flush draw. Because if your opponent is betting on, say, pocket jacks or an 8 here, you might even get 2 cards at the same price, and maybe you can get your opponent off.
You might actually be able to take it down with the bet on the turn.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you see that email from David Gladstone talking about the ideal?
Yes.
I like that.
And look at this. Kelsey's going to check raise here with 8-5. He's going to check raise it up to 100. He took a long time with that check raise.
Nothing wrong with that. Kelsey likes to take a long time with a lot of hands. He might have done that with a set here, try to figure out how to play it from out of position. Is it worth the call here and then give him a free card? And in this case, even if you put the guy on a bluff, Michael doesn't have much more than a bluff catcher.
And he's going to get away from it. Yeah, email here from David Gladstone saying, the ideal live at the bike broadcast. Seat 1, Liz Liu. 2, Christy Gazes. 3, Jean Gluck. 4, Cecilia...
Nordenstam? Nordenstam.
Is that the blonde girl?
Nordenson. Well, he didn't spell it right either way.
Oh, maybe he does mean Cecilia Mortensen. It's nowhere near what.
No, yeah, we're trying to read it.
Yeah. Vanessa Russo in seat 5. Shannon Elizabeth. Jennifer Lee, which of course is genocide. Lilia Alevra, the grinder's wife, and Evelyn Ng. I don't know. I might take Jennifer Tilly in there somewhere.
I would put Jennifer Tilly in there for sure. And I'd probably I'd get rid of genocide.
Really?
She doesn't do much for me.
She's a sweetheart, though.
She's a sweetheart. I put Shirley in there, though, instead. No Shirley Rosario.
Well, you know my affinity for Asian women, but I never was huge fan of Evelyn Ing. In terms of, I mean, I'm sure she's a nice person too, but just in terms of her looks.
Right. Be interesting to see him play, though.
King Jack 10 here, yeah, absolutely.
Open-ended straight draw for seat number 1. Not much value there, though, for it. If an ace or a 9 come off, it's pretty obvious.
Well, Eric's going to bet out here.
Well, betting it's fine. You just don't want to be calling there, and Eric's probably going to take it down with that bet. Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here at Bart Hansen. You can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. If you missed any part of the show or any show, now we got a call here. I'm surprised.
Call by Ace 8.
Yeah.
Art with a gut shot.
And the best hand.
And the ace is going to take it down here.
Unless
Wow.
Eric fires on the river, and I think Eric is he going to fire?
Remember, it's Eric against Art, the two guys that don't bet against each other. And Ace
Oh,
is
that's
gonna win it.
terrible.
And that's actually looks a little bit bad for the game too. I mean, he did bet with an open-ended straight draw.
Yeah, oh, it just hurts himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say, if you missed any part of our show, we actually do a live loop. We replay the show at 11 p.m. Pacific time, and then every 3 hours until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So pretty much if you go on our website at any time, you'll see some poker. You can also check out the video blog and a lot of other stuff. Now, on Sundays, if you miss a show, we replay the entire week for you, starting at noon.
Ace-Jack here for seat 9. Pocket Queens here for Michael in seat 5. And he's just going to limp in. Limped around. Now, might Aaron raise here after a couple of limpers? He is going to raise. And how is Michael going to play it? These guys are both deep, Aaron and Michael. Is Michael going to play the limp re-raise here with Queens? Now, again, this is a case where you said if Aaron was bringing this win with Ace-King and Michael limp re-raised to not that much, you would call here in position with Ace-King.
Probably, yeah.
Looks like Michael is just going to call.
I don't mind that play. Out of position.
Yeah.
You got to remember, if you raise here, you might not get any information. You might get rid of the 3 players there, and Aaron might smooth call you with aces or kings.
Yep. I mean, Art's struggling here to lay down ace-3.
Well, hidden value there. I mean, it's ace-3 offsuit. He's got 2 flush draws.
I think Allen's going to fold here. Well, here we go.
Heads up. Pot's about $125.
The only problem here is if a king comes and Aaron bets, what is Michael going to do?
Well, the flop's 7 high, 7-7-6.
Now, do you play this as a check raise?
I don't like to play this checkers. I want to put some money in there right away and see where I'm at. Because remember, Aaron could easily have kings or aces. And if I check raise, I'm making the pot bigger with queens
And
out of
Aaron is
position.
going to bet 200 here.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the check call here.
Yeah. And Michael's like, oh, man, what the hell do I do?
And this is really a tough spot here because Aaron could easily have 10s, jacks. He could also have aces or kings. And you got no information because you did not bet. I mean, I really think you need to bet there.
And again, it's almost like a spot where if you play this as a check raise and the guy calls,
you're dead.
I think you almost need to check the turn, right?
I mean, if you check raise here, you're pot committed. The game hand is over.
Well, he's really deep here, Dave. He's going to min check raise. Look, he's not pot committed. He's got another 600 left. He's
okay, now if this guy
raising
moves
at
all in,
400.
he's going to throw it away? Remember, the pot is now $1,500,
No,
and
it's
you're
not.
going to throw it away?
The pot right now is $600. It's $200 for Aaron to call.
Okay, so let's say Aaron calls and then moves all in. Okay, right now, let's say Aaron moves all in.
Yeah.
Right now, he's going to obviously he's going to throw it away, so we can talk about
It would
this.
be a $1,400 pot, $600 a call. You might fold queens.
Really,
there.
you're getting 2.5
Well,
to 1
the
on your
thing is-
money, and Aaron could have jacks or 10s.
He could have jacks or tens. I mean, in this
I don't-
game, it's tough.
That's why I say
Aaron's
check
gonna get rid of
raising it. And we talk about the reason not to check raise this hand. Now, in this case, it worked, but by check raising, you are creating a big pot with 1 pair out of position. Is that really what you want to do with a hand just as queens?
Post here by Zelo saying only 1 stud 8 or better, and it's only a $1,000 fine.
Oh, my
So you
God.
might see a lot of dead money.
That
might be
is-
I mean, that is one of the cheapest ways to get in, to get a.
Yeah,
race.
I'll almost definitely play that.
That's
event.
going to be a great tournament. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Unfortunately, in a tournament like that, it is a drawing game, and you almost have to hit your first or second hand, or you're going to be so short
Did you say you
set.
get mixed up with men to master? Both you made flushy lows. You had a better flush and a low, which crippled you one time last year.
Well, I built up. I want to say it was a $2,000 stud high low event. I
Yeah.
wrote about it in the blog, in my Into the Gun blog. But basically, I had an 8 low with a king high flush, and he had a 7 low with an ace high flush. beat me both ways, and I went from like 7,000 chips to like 1,600 chips.
Wow.
Yeah, so, what are you going to do? I was actually at a great table. My last table was Greg Raymer was there, Mel Judah, Bobby Balland, Men the Master, all at the same table. It was a lot of fun.
Jack 7-8 here on the flop. Michael's going to lead out here. Going to bet 20.
Now, we talk about check raising there. A lot of people can argue with us and say, well, if he bets right into the ace-jack.
And the ace-jack raises, what do you do?
Well, if you bet right into the ace-jack and the ace-jack folds, you don't make any more money either.
Right.
I just think it's a little bit dangerous to be check raising with that, don't you?
Again, though, what my question is, if you bet in with queens and you get raised on the flop, how do you play?
You got to be really cautious there. That's one of the reasons queens are a dangerous hand in deep stack, no-limit play.
Look at this. Michael caught trips on the turn. He checked it, and Art has fallen for it. He's going to bet out with king 7 here.
Look at that. Michael sets the trap, and Art falls for it.
Well, now, is there any way that Michael plays this hand cautiously, thinking that Art called him with the jack?
Yeah, I don't think Art's got enough money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Art's only got like 150 left.
And Michael is going to play it as he's going to check raise him in. And I don't even think Art's going to call here.
Yeah, well, he's drawing dead. He cannot win this pot. If you talk to professional poker players, the one thing they'll always try to avoid, I know it's pretty obvious, but they never want to you never want to put your money in when you're drawing dead.
Yeah, explain why.
Fucking wise asses, I swear to God.
Master of the obvious, Dave Tuckman.
No, but it's the truth. The funniest thing is if you hear some of the pros talking about it, like Daniel Negreanu, he says it, he goes, I don't mind, and I might get interrupted in the middle by a chip count. He goes, I don't mind, if I move in and I get called, or I have to call and I've only got 6 outs or 5 outs, at least I have some sort of escape hatch. I don't want to put my money in there drawing dead.
Another chip count. You can see more chips have come on the table, about 1,000 more. Aaron's still leading here. Let's take a look at the big winners of the night. Aaron, the big winner, 1,200. Tyler with 600.
Ooh, look at that night. Gus is, and not really any fault of his own, just having a bad go of it.
With some second-best hands.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Nothing he really did bad. I think he way over-committed with queens at the beginning of the night, though.
Yeah, he definitely did. And he knows that. He definitely knows that. And sometimes it can be frustrating in a game like this where it's a restricted buying game, where you lose 500 and you can only buy in for another 500.
Yeah.
And your opponents are all building their stack up. And it's almost like he has to double up twice just to break even.
King 9-9 here on the flop. And Michael's got a 9 in the small blind. He's going to check it, Dave. He's not going to bet. Kelsey's got a gut shot here to the 10.
Now, I'm not sure if Michael knows he has the nuts or not. But you've got to realize, if you get played back at and you have a hand as 9-4, how do you like your 9-4 there? I mean, if a good player plays back at you when you bet, you've got to realize you're probably behind something like 9-8, 9-7, 10-9, or Jack-9.
And he's checked around. And the turn's a 10, and Kelsey spikes the straight. And he's got a straight flush draw to boot. A bet here by Michael. He's going to bet 20. Eric is going to call with a dry flush draw, and I think Kelsey's going to raise.
I got to tell you, if you're Kelsey, you push hard. You're hoping somebody was sandbagging a 9.
Yep. $20 bet, call by Eric, and just a call by Kelsey. Is he scared of a full house? And the river is an 8. Well, I don't think that kills that much of the action.
Well, the only thing you got to be scared of now is what are likely holdings for a 9, 9-10, or 9-8.
Remember, the Michael's in the small blind. He did get a free ride, so some of that range might be out the window.
I mean, does Michael think he's got the nuts here?
Well, Michael checked it at the end.
Okay, so I think Michael's aware that he does not have the nuts.
Kelsey is going to bet. He's going to bet 50. He's going to get a call. But you wonder if Kelsey raises the turn, what does Michael do? And again, I wonder if Kelsey was in just a call mode. If Michael bet again on the river, was Kelsey just going to call? He almost played it a little defensively.
Well, you might have to there with the paired board. You got to realize, unless he makes his straight flush, if he raises and then gets re-raised all in, well, then what do you do with your flush?
Got a couple minutes left there in the show. Oh, no. No, David Gladstone said he met Cecilia Nordenstam, who is a Swedish player sponsored by Martins. And I think I am familiar with her. A very pretty blonde.
He says, although Cecilia Mortensen would also be a good addition as well.
Right. Spanish. You like all the ethnicities here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's represent. We got any good Jewish girls there? In that group in the final, in that table?
I don't know.
No?
Dave can say that because he's Jewish.
Right. Well, I want some good Jewish girls. Bring some gefilte fish there. Matzah.
Oh, man. Four-way action here. Jack 10 deuce.
Nobody's got anything.
Aaron did not race with the ace-queen here from up front. I had a bad experience with gefilte fish one time, dude. It was like the week after, was it Passover that stuff's eaten?
Yeah. Well, the week up after.
And I was
yeah.
really drunk. And I was at my friend's house who had some leftover gefilte fish in
Did
the
he dare
refrigerator.
you or something?
No, I just was hungry, so I ate it.
Oh.
Like that's drunken munchies.
Yeah, you never want to mix gefilte fish and liquor.
God. Eric's going to bet out here with nothing.
Gefilte fish and
Aaron's
liquor
gonna
never
check call
sicker.
here with ace-queen.
Well, now it's open-ended here, but Eric has got his gut shot. Eric makes the straight.
Yeah, he's got the bottom end of a gut shot. And he's going to bet out again.
Well, why not? You were bluffing at first, but now you actually made something.
Bet 60.
You got to realize if Aaron called you with an open-ended straight draw, king-queen, he got there.
He's going to call again.
And Aaron, yeah, just call here. You wonder what Eric would do if Aaron raised.
I mean, what do you put Aaron on as he check calls both times here? And the
And look at that.
The river's an 8.
Oh, man.
And look at this. Aaron bets 200 and Eric laughs.
Well, you can't beat anything. You can't beat backdoor clubs.
Yeah.
You also can't be a queen. If your opponent called you and say something like queen-jack, you can't beat that.
$200 bet out here. It's a nice, hefty little pot-sized bet.
You know, and every draw really got there, didn't it?
It's going to be the last hand of the night, Dave. Again, you can join us tomorrow night for a little 20-40 no-limit hold'em.
Yeah, action
$2,000
table tomorrow night.
hold'em, yeah.
It's our whale night. Probably somewhere upward of $75,000. If Barry Woods can find his dentures, he might even find his way here tomorrow night.
Oh, man. Ace-jack here for seat 5. Buttons moved over here to Art in seat 6. Last hand of the night.
Been a real entertaining night of poker.
It has been. A little bit slow toward in some points, but limp, and a raise here by Michael.
And I like the raise. I do. I mean, I don't think ace-jack. I think you want to limit the field a little bit. Plus, you're in position. Maybe you can buy the button. Well, maybe not.
Art's going to call with queen 9. 30 more to Eric with a little suited connector. 6-7 of diamonds here.
It's a small pot.
I don't know if Eric knows it's his turn here. Talking about.
Yeah, still talking about the last hand.
Yeah. Eric's going to come in here. I assume Gus is not going to play ace-9 offsuit. He does not. Now, Walt, he's got pocket 5s, and he comes in. So it's a $120 pot here, last hand of the night, going 3 ways. King 10-9 here. You wonder if Michael bets here is probably going to take it down. Although Art might get stubborn and stay in there with queen 9. You never
Yeah,
know.
he might.
Michael's going to bet out here. He bets 40 into a $120 pot.
Yeah, it kind of screams I'm weak. Either I'm weak or I have queen-jack and I got the nuts.
Art calls.
Yep.
Well,
Not really any draw out there. I mean, somebody could have 7-8, I suppose. But if somebody's got queen-jack, they're already there.
turns 6.
What is Michael going to do here?
Going to bet again. He bets 100.
And you wonder here, now he might get Art off this hand, but I got to tell you, against a player like Art, that's the kind of player I'm not going to be bluffing any at all. I'm going to be betting for value, though. If I've got a king here, ace-king, I'm going to keep betting it and keep betting it and keep betting and building myself a pot. Obviously, it's tough, though, because Art could be calling you with just 2 cards. He could be calling you with a hand like ace-5, just taking one off.
I mean,
You never
Art
know.
might be taking into account that his hand might not be good, but he might calling for the gut shot. You might need to fire again on the river. You might not get Art off this street, but you might get him off the river, and you really want to be putting all that money when you have no idea what the guy's calling you with. I think
Yeah.
that's the point, right?
And
He's
he
gonna
gets
get
it,
rid of
yeah.
it.
And
The rabbit cam shows a 5.
5 of spades. He would not have gotten there. Fear not, it was a good laydown, although you're actually ahead.
Yep. So that's going to do it for us. Again, you can join us tomorrow night for 2040 No Limit Hold'em, Dave. Lots of fun, lots of action. We'll
Great
see
action.
you tomorrow. Same time. For Dave Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody. Live at the bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.